WWS American Open, presented by WorldWaterSkiers, is brought to you by Ravenol, the lifeblood of your car and boat. By Camaro, the ultra-thin 100% seamless wetsuits for all seasons. And by White Cross, wear it, live it. Visit WorldWaterSkiers.com for all the live action, results, athlete profiles, and more.
Ravenol, the lifeblood of your car.
Hi guys, I'm Dorian Llewellyn. I'm here with Janina and Carlotta Boneman. We're out here testing some new Camaro gear, but as always, we love our Camaro titanium suits.
This is a Camaro titanium suit. It's super flexible and stretchy. It feels like a second skin. You wear it and you feel like you have nothing on and you can move freely. Like even the longer one is a little bit thicker, keeps you a little bit warmer, but it's like, it feels like you're wearing nothing and you can move freely and just perform the best you can.
And since it's that flexible, it's really good to put on, zip it up, put it back off whenever you're done skiing.
Not only that, and not only will you look stylish going down the lake, but also there's no drag on the suit. Water just runs straight off of it, keeps you warm. So in general, I think you're gonna have your best set ever with the Camaro Titanium Pro suit.
At Dillinger Insurance, we have over 50 different carriers to shop your home, auto, and recreational vehicle insurance needs. We would love the opportunity to save you money. We insure million-dollar mansions, condos, mobile homes, rental homes, and everything in between. We know all about wind inspections, four-point inspections, and how to get you the right coverage for your particular home. You've got questions, we've got answers. Can you remember the last time you had a rate decrease with your auto insurance? Let's take a look and see what we can do. We know all the ins and outs of getting our customers the best rates, coverages, and discounts, so put us to the test.
Don't monkey around with your insurance. Call Dillinger Insurance today. We've got tons of companies to help find you the best prices and the best coverage for your particular needs on home and auto insurance. Go Knights!
Hey guys, Dorian Llewellyn. I'm a 3-event water skier, I'm a Camaro athlete, and I'm also a huge fan of the new Camaro Core vest. This vest is amazing. I honestly didn't think that Camaro could make a vest that was lighter and also thinner than their last version, but this one not only does that, but also keeps the structural integrity the same while also lifting you up while you're in the water. Now, there are a lot of things that I like about this vest. I love the fact that they kept the overall design the same. They have this armor-looking plate in the front, and it overall looks great. Inside, there are some new things around the waistline. There's more structural integrity, and also at the back, a bit of extra support so that it'll keep form for a lot longer. When you put it on, there really isn't anything that restricts you from getting it on, getting it off. When you have it on, there's also nothing that really restricts your arms either. You're able to move around, move freely, ski your best, while also looking good. So I love this vest.
Testing one, two.
Test.
This is Hank. Testing 1, 2, 3.
David, you got to get that camera going. Oh, we're on. Here we are.
Are we on?
We're on.
We're on. Hey, everybody. Here we go. Welcome to the WWS American Open here at beautiful Okehilly Park, hosted by Ski Club of the Palm Beaches. And I am with 9-time world champion, 11-time world record holder, and even more impressive, 2-time world overall champion, Jarrett Llewellyn. And Jarrett, this is such a great event, and it's all about the overall.
It is an incredible event. Overall, there's so much going on. It's such a battle every time you go out. And these guys all competed against each other a few weeks ago at the World Championships, and it was an incredible battle. And we're going to get to see here today, but we're having a little bit adverse conditions. It's blowing pretty hard.
Yes,
it might back off. We couldn't ski yesterday, but we're going to get through it today.
Well, we're going to have to, because this is the American Open, and unfortunately this wind has been a little daunting, and we're also looking to the skier safety, which is so important. But folks, these are the top 5 men overall skiers in the world, and on top of being the top in overall, they also ski as good as the specialists do in each one of their events, and they hang in there with the best of them.
They do. Every event is a different animal. Body styles, you know, you got specialists, big guys, little guys, but an overall skier has to do it all.
And it's amazing the time and the dedication. Well, you know how much time it took when you were winning world championships. 3 events, that's a day's work right there.
It is a lot of training. I miss it, watching all the guys compete, but the training is incredible. It's an all-day thing, and it is brutal on your body. Every event is different. Jumping is all lower legs and your back. Slalom's upper back. Tricks, you got to be nimble, and you put it all together, and it's a train wreck. So
and it takes a lot of time. Well, what's so great about this today is that we're getting to bring this to you from WorldWaterSkiers.com, and Jared talk about it. It's just an incredible format for us to communicate. It's like a Facebook for water skiing.
It is. We've been working on the back end, the hub, to bring in new data for the sport, and then bring the live scoring and everything to the viewer so that it's just a better package.
Well, and it gives all you skiers and ski clubs an opportunity to tell your story. It's so critical that you do that, and you can keep everything updated on your bio, on your ski club's bio. You can let all your friends, grandma and uncles and neighbors know what's going on, and for the ski clubs especially, what events they have coming up, and can continue to let their audience be aware of that.
It is, yeah. It simplifies the sport. Instead of everybody having their own websites, everybody can create it. It's all free. Everybody creates a profile, and then the club creates a profile, and it creates an event page. And every event is its own, and then you just send everybody to that page. And today it's the America Open. You visit that page, you know, you go online, and you can follow right there from all the details on the site there.
Now, so you're watching us on the website. We have our audience here that are watching it live, but they can also follow up when we start doing the replays and talking about the skiers' performance on particular passes and that. Well, the audience will hear it, but they can also see it.
They can. It's incredible to come watch. You can't appreciate the speed and everything that skiing has to offer sitting at home. But this is the best of both worlds. If you're on site, you can pull up your phone, you get to see all the replays that we see, and then online, we're trying to give the viewer, you can flip through, you can see the skiers' profiles, and you can be really engaged in the sport.
And we have some great skiing. We're going to start off with the tricking event today, and for those people that are not experts in tournament water skiing and how this all works, let's talk about overall the 3 events that they're going to be competing in today.
Well, today typically we start with the slalom event. They usually do slalom, trick, jump, and today we're going to flip it. We're actually going to run with tricks first, then slalom, then jump. You know, the trick event, they're going to go out and you have a hand pass and a toe pass typically. You got 2 20-second passes. You're trying to do as many tricks as possible. We have judges up there in the tower that are watching if this trick is done correct or not. But what we're also testing this weekend is eye trick. And this is absolutely incredible because it's starting to take the software and it eliminates, you know, all the scoring and all the timing, and it allows us to bring the scores in real time and much faster for the event.
And so it's actually video, capturing with video each skier's performance, each trick that they do, and can call it with better accuracy and speed.
It is. In the old days, we used to, the judges would call it, write it on a piece of paper, then they would have to review that, try to decipher all the judges. We had 5 judges, sometimes you have 3 judges at a different level of competition, but then all that garbage is thrown in, the papers are thrown in the garbage, and we're collecting that data, and that's going to make the sport better.
Well, in this event, the tricks that they do can be simple tricks to very difficult tricks, and the more tricks that you do, the higher the score. The skier with the most points wins, and the more difficult the trick, the more points that are awarded to that trick. So we're going to see some really freaky maneuvers out there.
Oh, it's incredible the level of tricking at the moment. Like, there hasn't been a lot of pro events, there's only a couple, and the level is just phenomenal. You have specialists that are pushing the sport, and then these overall skiers are having to follow suit and bring their game up because they're doing all 3 events. But some of the tricks that you guys will see, you know, our guys that are coming out, they're the best in the world. My son just won the world championships. Joel Poland is throwing out some freaky tricks that no one's ever seen before.
And he just won the world overall.
And he won the overall.
So
yeah,
we're going to have a battle.
It is incredible, the skiing.
Well, some great stuff. And what do you say we talk to some of the skiers and kind of get these folks up here and see if we can find a few of them around here before they're all getting ready for their trick event. But hopefully we can have a little chat with them. And
we got a car show going on here today at Palm Beach, the Corvette Club, and it's just a real family outing here.
Well, it's fun. Some beautiful cars over there. We got the ice cream truck. Everybody's loving it. And once again, here at beautiful Okehele Park in West Palm, Ski Club of the Palm Beaches, can't thank them enough. Charlotte Melchers and company and all the volunteers that have chipped in here. They've put on 5 regional championships, I think like 15 national championships or more, and they know the business of tournament water skiing here, and just a delightful place for us to be hosting this American Open. It
is. This club is one of the best in the world, and there's so much going on in the park. But this facility is incredible. You know, this is my backyard. Palm Beach love it, and there's so much going on here. And this park is the best in the world.
I love it, and hopefully, as we wait a little bit, this wind's going to settle down a tad, and we'll get to watch these skiers do their thing. It'd be kind of interesting to chat with them a little bit after they ski, to see what they think of that performance, you know, because it's critical how they perform in each one of these events. And with the trick event coming up first, this is really significant because you cannot fall.
Yeah, no, a little bobble, you lose one trick and you go from 1st to 5th really quick. And you saw that at the World Championships a couple weeks ago. My son made a bobble. He would have tricked 11-8,
and then he bound down to 11.2. He didn't even think he was going to make the podium. But everybody's going for it, and that right at the top, 1 or 2 bobbles, and you're out. So we're going to see that today. Conditions are definitely tough, and they're going to have to fight through it, and we're going to go down and get into their heads and what's going on through the whole event. And maybe we'll go to a commercial, and we'll get right back and get some of the athletes and learn a little bit from how they grew up in the sport.
Coming right back with you with more of the American Open.
The WWS American Open, presented by WorldWaterSkiers, is brought to you by Ravenol, the lifeblood of your car and boat. By Camaro, the ultra-thin 100% seamless wetsuits for all seasons. And by White Cross, wear it, live it. Visit WorldWaterSkiers.com for all the live action, results, athlete profiles, and more.
Ravenol, the lifeblood of your car.
Hi guys, I'm Dorian Llewellyn. I'm here with Janina and Carlota Boneman. We're out here testing some new Camaro gear, but as always, we love our Camaro titanium suits.
This is a Camaro titanium suit. It's super, super flexible and stretchy. It feels like a second skin. You wear it and you feel like you have nothing on and you can move freely. Like even the longer one is a little bit thicker, keeps you a little bit warmer, but it's like, it feels like you're wearing nothing and you can move freely and just perform the best you can.
And since it's that flexible, it's really good to put on, zip it up, put it back off whenever you're done skiing.
Not only that, and not only will you look stylish going down the lake, but also there's no drag on the suit. Water just runs straight off of it, keeps you warm. So in general, I think you're gonna have your best set ever with the Camaro Titanium Pro suit.
The WWS American Open, and Edoardo Morenzi is our first skier that we're going to chat with. And Jarrett, why don't you ask him a few of your favorite questions that I know you think are really critical in this event?
Well, I mean, how'd you get into the sport? Did your parents ski, and you have a brother, right?
Yeah, I have a brother, but all my family doesn't ski. My parents don't ski. I got in because a friend asked me to try it, and I just never stopped afterwards.
Cool. And how's the season been going? Are you like, how'd the Worlds go for you?
Open Worlds didn't go as planned for me. I had a really good on 21 Worlds, placed second in overall, with a really good jump here. I improved my PB by 4 meters. Trick was fine, and I was a really consistent slalom score, so it was a pretty good season overall.
So you're jumping off a 5.5 foot ramp.
Yes.
So have you messed with 6 foot yet?
I think I hit 6 foot once by error. It was just a 6, and no one told me. But I'm planning on jumping on 6 foot maybe in the next years. Maybe do one more year, 5.5. I don't think I'm ready yet for hit the big ramp.
Okay.
But
what do you think your strong event is?
I will say trick, but this year was definitely jump.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And slalom.
Slalom has always been Slalom was actually my second best overall, like by my second best event, until like I started jumping more, and I didn't have a ramp when I grew up skiing, so I didn't really jump until I moved in the US at Corey Pico Ski School, and I started jumping more every day. And this year was definitely trick, jump, slalom, but slalom was really consistent. So.
And how long have you been skiing at Corey's?
I ski at Corey since 2017 when I moved there, so 4 years. And in the past 2 years, I've been going like up and down between Lafayette, Louisiana, and Corey Pico Ski School.
Right, yeah. And why did you end up picking that school? Or?
It was just like a great group of people. It was a great team to begin with.
You guys just won.
We just won back to back. Since I'm in college, we're undefeated.
Yeah.
So it's been a really good 3 years now.
So you're the anchor on the
team. Me and my freshman year, for sure.
So what are you studying at school?
I'm a marketing major.
Okay. Awesome. And what do you plan to do after that?
I don't really know yet. I still have 2 years to decide.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'm gonna keep skiing afterwards for a while,
yeah.
And then go back home and start working.
Okay. Any game plan? You trick pass. We're starting with tricks. Are you going with the same run? You gonna tone it down, or?
I always go with the same run. I always start with toes first. Also, if it's a pretty strong headwind. And yeah, the same game plan as always. Just stand up, get to the end.
You got to stick to that. You don't want to goof things up at this stage of the game.
Mm-hmm.
You want to stick with what you know how to do and got it nailed down.
Well, good luck today. We'll check back with you after the trick event. And
thank you so much.
Hopefully everything goes as planned.
Thank you so much.
All right, we'll get Martin in here. Martin Coleman, world champ.
Another one of our world overall champions joining us, Martin Coleman. And what's the big plan for today, Martin?
Well, hopefully to ski. So yeah, we're gonna do trick, slalom, and jump. It's 5 of us, so just put some big scores out and see where we end.
Well, yesterday you tricked really well. You went out there and put out like 11:10:240, I think it was. So a great trick run, kind of feeling things out. Had the best performance of the day out there yesterday.
Yeah, I kind of just went out, tried to stand up both passes, fell on the last trick, and on the pass coming back I missed one trick. So it was pretty good. 80% there, and hopefully today will be
100%.
100%.
How's the setup? We have to. You completely helped us out. We knew that the wind conditions were going to switch on us. Last weekend at the. My mic's not working here.
Okay, we'll switch here. I'll tell you what. You guys chat, and I'll give you that one. And you
last weekend the wind conditions were really bad at the Mastercraft Pro, and they continued all week. And here we knew that we had to switch, and you were helping us right from the beginning.
Yeah, so me and John and Zach, we do skiing, we jump, slalom or trick, and then we enjoy, setting up lakes for the best possible conditions so we can run events when wind switches. It's an outdoor sport, but you can do a lot of things to make it better for the skiers and hopefully hold events. So yeah, I think the setup looks pretty good.
Hopefully it calms down as we run the event. It did yesterday. It calmed right down, and it was pretty good. At least we got a headwind here, and everything looks pretty good. Any game plan? You gonna just go for it today, or
Yeah, I think I'm second of the dog, so there is not much, seeing and tactics to do before that. So yeah, just go out and ski and let the other guys chase me.
Growing up at home, you have a brother that was big into the sport, and your dad was big into the sport, still is.
Yep. My dad got third at the over 60 Europeans this year, so that was a big achievement for him. And growing up, my brother's 3 years older, and I always just tried to keep up with him. So I was chasing him, and then once I got to 14, 15, I started traveling, and went to college in University of Louisiana at Monroe, and just skied with the team there, and off we went.
What did you study at Monroe?
I did kinesiology, exercise science as a bachelor, and then applied exercise physiology as a master's.
Wow, that's incredible. You're a busy guy. You
Yeah.
definitely get it. You are one skier that I know likes to get his hands dirty. It's pretty impressive that you can flip like that. And watching John, you guys put all that work in, and then you go out and ski. So that's insane.
Thank you.
And now you're working with Good.
Yep. Yeah, so I was fortunate enough after my master's degree, I came down to Florida to help Jerry Jackson set up a lake at Chet Rayleigh's for a tournament, and Dave Good flew down, and after the weekend I'm driving back home. I didn't ski really that well, so I was kind of like sad driving home, and Dave Good called me and asked me if I want to build skis with him. And I'm like, okay, where? And he's like, in Utah. So I went on Google Maps, looked where Utah is, and I'm like, yeah, sure, it sounds pretty cool. So I enjoy it a lot. It's just
colder.
A little colder, but you know, I never seen a ski made, and before I started with him, and listening to him and getting taught by him was an amazing experience. Unfortunately, he passed away about a year and a half ago, so that was very sad, but I was fortunate to learn from him, and it's amazing what you can do. So it's just another layer of of skiing and knowledge in skiing. So
Wow. Yeah. And you came in, Dorian's on the team, and you worked with him, and it's incredible. Like, you jump right in there and help them, and we really appreciate that. It was incredible time last night. All the guys hanging out together, having all the stories were flying. It was pretty fun. It was pretty fun.
yeah, I mean, we're from all over the world, and everybody's got different background, and they're into different stuff. So it's pretty cool to just share stories, and at the end of the day, we fight on the water, but we can be friends off the water and help each other. So it's pretty awesome.
You won the U.S. Open this year. You were like running around doing all these events, and then you went and like won the U.S. Open.
Yep. Yeah. I don't ask me how I did it. It just happened. I went out. I knew I'm not as ready as I would like to be for a tournament, but sometimes you just gotta go out and ski and try your best, and I ended up winning it. So I was somewhat fortunate, and somewhat just experience kicked in.
Yeah, and the Worlds, I mean, the overall, like going into the overall, you guys, you've won the Worlds. You're world overall champion. And what year was that?
2019 in Malaysia.
That was tough conditions.
Yeah, everybody complains about them, but I guess it kind of worked out for me, so I can't say.
Was there something about that, being old and being experienced? I mean, here today, all these guys are like, and you're like, let's go ski. So
yeah, I think at that point, in 2019, I was a little bit older than Joel and Dorian, and I'm younger than Adam Settlemeyer, so he had the most experience, and Pipe was there. So it was just the right time and the right place for me. If it would be, maybe this year in Malaysia, it would be different and ending up. But at the time, I was fortunate to come away with the win. So
and what happened at the Worlds? What was your going into it? You felt good?
Yeah, I mean, the weekend before Worlds, or the week before Worlds, I was at Jack's training, and everything kind of started coming together, and then I just forgot how to ski. So sometimes that happens, and there will be another tournament, another World, so can't be too low for too long, and just get out there and try again a little bit harder. So
yeah, well, that's awesome. We're ready to watch your rip today, and we'll check back in after trick event and see how things are going.
All right, I appreciate it, guys, and thank you for putting on this awesome event.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Thank you, Martin.
We'll bring in Joel.
Yeah, things are we're kind of getting to let you know a bit about the skiers today, and get to meet them before they get out on the water. I think it's a really neat thing to do. And as we wait a little bit, maybe these conditions will clear up with us a little bit and give the skiers a little better condition out there on the lake. And Joe Poland, our 2021 World Overall Champion, sitting with us in the house, and I'm going to let you two guys chat a little bit.
Shout it out.
Well, yeah, incredible skiing. I mean, going into it, there's so many guys. It was just going to be an incredible show, and you and Dorian like going at it and both going for a world record in the first round is just like, that's insane.
Yeah.
So, and you like stomped down a trick run. That was pretty ballsy.
Yeah, I mean, I went for a pretty risky trick run. Had that big Supermo 5 in there, which I've been pretty consistent on, but like nevertheless, it's a bit of a sketchy trick.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's wild. It's
yeah,
like,
you go for it.
You got to go for it.
No, it was good. It was really awesome. Like, how did you start skiing? England, cold. Everyone's asked me. Like, Canada, what the heck?
You know, I think I started skiing with my dad. He was a barefooter. I wasn't really too interested in it, and he gets me out on the back of the boat on a surfboard, and I'm like, go slow. Like, I don't want to go fast. I don't like skiing. And I'm behind the boat, and I'm going along. Like, this is kind of fun. I was like, let's go faster. Let's go faster. Let's go faster. And by the end, I mean, it felt like we were going 100 miles an hour. I was like 6.
With him saying, don't go faster, don't go faster, to watch you attack the water ski jump and jump 230 feet. Apparently you got used to the speed.
Yeah, we get there. But same thing for jump. When I first started jumping at like 57, I was like, we'll just go easy. And then maybe we'll go a little faster and like try to get some more speed. But yeah, it was just like a bit of fun. We actually went out to Spain to this place called Extreme Gene. And that's where I kind of fell in love with skiing. I was a bit of a wakeboarder. And my dad goes, hey, like, come ski with us one day. So I go out and I run the slalom course on like the first day, because I got a lot of practice on 2 skis. I've just never tried a slalom course. I'm a kid, we're going slow. And yeah, went out, ran the slalom course, and then that was it. Been pretty hooked since. I did take a little break when I watched the movie Jaws. I was like 8. Bad parenting. Do not let your kid watch Jaws.
So as a youngster, did doing 3 events, and did you really like one over the other, and has that changed, or is like?
Well, I started off as a slalom skier. I used to wakeboard, so obviously trick interested me. And again, being a wakeboarder, I like hit the kickers on the cable, so jump interested me. And I think every 3 months it changes. Even now, every 3 months I have a favorite event. It's slalom, then it's trick, then it's jump. And they've all got their own sort of attributes. I think it's normally just whatever I'm doing best at. That's my favorite event.
Yeah, it has something to do with it.
I can relate to that.
Yeah, you'll know. You guys will know.
If you're going out the front jumping, it's not really your favorite event all of a sudden.
Yeah. And so when you came to America, and where did you start training first?
You know, first time I came to America, I skied with Mike Ferrero. And we came to do flip camp. It was just me, one other guy, because everyone in England got invited to flip camp but me. And I was like, I want to do flip camp because they all learn flips. So we went out, we were with Mike, and I learned a flip. And my dad has been skiing with Matt Reaney in the week just because he wanted somewhere to ski. He's like, oh, this guy's good. So he sends me over there for a set at the end of it, and I've just learned my flip, so I haven't slalomed all week, and we go out and slalom, and it just pretty much clicked straight away. Gave me a few little things. And then I think like 3 weeks later I came out for like a month. Had known Matt for 1 day, and yeah, he sent me out there for like a month. I was crying on the phone on day 1, saying, I want to come home, I hate it. And then day 2 I called him on the phone like, hey, can I stay longer?
How old are you at this point?
I was 12. I just learnt my first flip, so I was 12. And yeah, then that winter I went back like 6 times, spent half my year over there. And I've been going there pretty much ever since. And yeah, that's my guy in America, at least.
Yeah, and I've seen some of your posts. You guys all follow these guys. You know, go on the website, all their profiles. You can follow them on social media and figure out where they're going next. But you know, I saw some. You were down in Chile with those guys.
Oh yeah, I had a fun time at the start of this year. I was in England. I couldn't really get to America because it was shut down.
Yeah.
I had to start skiing. So my friends in Mexico were like, hey, you should come hang out with us. spend as long as you like here. I spent about a month out there, and then I got in contact with the Gonzalez family in Chile and the Nassas, and they said, yeah, like, come out for as long as you like, you're welcome to stay with us. And they took great care of me, and they kind of got me into shape actually for the season. Like when I got to Mats, normally I'm pretty fat, and they had a gym. I was skiing 3 or 4 sets every day. They got a swimming pool. They took me on a bike one day, and that murdered me. But by the time I got to Mats, I was in good shape, so I could actually, you know, start working on what I wanted to do versus get back in shape. So yeah, that was a really good start to my year, actually.
Yeah. Well, any? Do you think you have a weak event? Are they all pretty even, or which one? You know, like you said before, whichever one's kind of going well. But
yeah, I think it's funny. I would say slalom is probably my weakest event, but I think it's where I've probably got the most to improve on in terms of tournament. In practice, I've had some really good sets this year. I've skied way better than I've jumped and tricked, and it's really good for about 2 weeks, and then I completely fall off, and it's the consistency I think I struggle with in slalom. Then again, this year, except for the last tournament at Mastercraft, I seem to be running 39 a lot, and that was my aim this year, run 39 every time. So they're all kind of even. I think slalom is the one I've really got to attack though these next couple years, because that doesn't come as natural to me, I guess.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was short. I didn't want to work on it too much. Then I watched Dane go out and like stroke 41. I was like, damn.
He gave me hope.
That was like, wreck that for me.
So,
but
game plan for going into this event today?
I don't know. I mean, this is my last jump set of the year. So in jump, I'm going to have to finish with something good. This is probably my last tournament trick set of the year, so I'm going to go for it in trick. Slalom, I have no idea how that's going to go. I think it's going to depend a bit on the weather, on how hard I'm going to push, or whether I'm just going for the safe score. But I don't like laying up. I don't like going easy, so I'm going to give it my best to give it everything. Kind of the last hurrah of the year, you know?
Cool. Awesome.
Well,
it's in.
Thank you.
Yeah, enjoy it. You guys are awesome. Watching you guys go at it at that level in 3 events, you know, it's absolutely remarkable. And congratulations, and we'll check back with you right after the trick event and see how things are going.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Cheers.
All right.
Thank you.
Good luck. We'll bring in Rob. Robbie.
Alrighty, Rob Hazelwood coming to join us, and we're having some fun with this, folks. Getting, you know, it's not too often that you really get to meet these skiers and get to know them as a person and the other things that they do and where home is and everything that they've been up to. So we're doing a little bit of this ahead of time so that when they go out on the water, you're going to know them a lot better. And I'm going to turn this over to you, Robert.
Well,
hello.
Yeah. I don't know if the audio is working out there on the. Do you want to check that?
You guys check, and I'll go deal with that.
Check that, yeah.
It's a little windy, huh?
Yeah, a little windy. This is like, remember in Austria, we were just. I mean, Austria was just. We got dealt such a bad.
This is not what we expected when we came from Austria to Florida to have the same thing.
Not
but
in November. We were expecting nice, smooth, calm, nice weather, and we got this ripping. Well, it was going to be a tailwind, and we switched it to a head. But
it's getting a lot better. It's looking like
is.
In tricks could be a little windy. Slalom should be manageable, and then jump should be perfect. So the scores should be going down, which is always good to see, and we should be all good.
So growing up, when did you start skiing?
Young, like two or three, kind of when I could first do it, I guess. I think my parents kind of chucked me on the ski on the backboard and then kind of let me out, or I skied on my dad's skis, all the kind of usual stuff. And yeah, I guess loved it.
Yeah, well, the Hazelwood names is a big name, and your whole family, everybody's involved in the sport. Yeah. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, pretty much just kind of. I think we all kind of did it in the same way, but I'm lucky that I loved it, and yeah, the only thing, as I always say, I was ever forced to do really was trick. But other than that, but I'm glad I was. I think the rule was I had to trick twice to jump once. So that was kind of the rule, because knees and all that. But no, it's yeah, I had a pretty fun childhood.
So when did you did you do other events, or did you like slalom trick jump? Did you do some wakeboarding, wake skating, all that?
Never.
Other stuff?
We played around a bit, like on kneeboards and wakeboards, and I got a wake skate for like I think my 7th birthday or something, and hit a few ankles with that, and decided that's not as fun as it looks. But no, really, I mainly just kind of stuck to trick, slalom, and jump when I kind of was like 10 and above. But I used to spend hours and hours and hours going around the play lake at home on 2 skis, and just generally just having fun with my friend back home, Sophie. We used to go out there for hours and hours with my mum driving and her mum watching. And oh, there's a gust. It's gonna be fun off the top of the ramp. Yeah. And yeah, just mainly kind of stuck to those kind of things. I found a lot of fun on 2 skis and jumping the wakes and figuring it out, and lots of other sports at school, but not so much on the water as it goes.
So what age did you come to America? Or
I think I would guess the first time we used to do family holiday, obviously, to see kind of Will and Tom a little bit. We used to come over for like 2 weeks at a holiday, 1 week kind of thing. When I was maybe been 11 or 12 the first time. It's tough to remember, but we used to come for just kind of 2 weeks at a time. And it was only my first Masters when I really came over for, I think I came over for 3 or 4 weeks when I got a bit of a stay to kind of train because it was too cold in England.
And the Junior Masters?
Yeah, Junior Masters. I think my first Junior Worlds I had kind of a month, and this was the first proper year that I've done the full kind of season here, which has been nice.
And Tom and Junior, is that who you've trained with a lot, or?
Yeah, I've trained. They've been with me from the start, really. Tom's had me from throwing a tizzy when I couldn't do a toe KO, crying because I didn't want to do it, and kind of they've been there from the start through till now, obviously, and still are. They're kind of my, I would say, main coaches. They're always someone I can touch base with and ask some questions.
Well, that's a pretty good team to have.
Yeah. No, I have. Yeah. There's plenty of knowledge in my family, and obviously my sponsors and things. There's plenty of knowledge flying around. So whereas if I'm stuck or if I need a hand, then no, I have lots of coaches and lots of people to give a hand, which is always nice and something that I'm very lucky to have.
And of the 3 events, is there one that do you like all of them, one more than the other, or what's your,
It's tough. I mean, slalom's obviously my best event. It's the one that I've had the most success in, especially this season, and it's probably the one that I enjoy most when it's going well. And I think the thing I like about slalom is there's always something. If your skiing is just going horrendously, you can try a new ski, or you can try a fin change or binding change, or it's kind of, there's some things you can try so that it's not so focused on yourself in a way. You need to work on yourself, but jump, it's kind of you and a big red thing, and if you're skiing bad, then cross your fingers and try to get a little better, and hopefully you don't land on your face. But no, I'd say slalom's my favorite, closely followed by jump.
Okay. Any game plan coming into this, or?
To be honest, I think I'm debating whether obviously tricks is tricks. Probably take hands into the headwind because it's going to be a little tough to do toes into that. Probably hands first. Hope I catch a flat spot. And then, slalom's the big kind of decision. Do you go out at 35 or 40 or 28? So 12 or 14 meters and chance the 11 tail and go 10 head? Or do you go out at 32 or 13 meters and cross your fingers that you're not going to get a gust coming into toe in 39? And obviously the slalom is my biggest advantage, and I'm going to need a few boys on Dorian and Joel if I have a chance to be standing anywhere near the top podium. So I think I've got to go for the aggressive play and probably go out at 35. But we'll see. Who knows? It could calm down and it could become nice. But it's kind of the game plan. And jump, just hold on, I guess.
Yeah.
Hold on and hope we don't get a gust.
Yeah. Well, we'll come back and talk about it. We'll let the conditions die down a little bit, hopefully, and we'll have a good jump set.
Get tricking.
Yeah.
Right.
So we'll check back in with you after the trick event.
Go in.
All right, go drop.
Thank you.
Yeah, I guess so. Well,
how's it going?
How's the wind out there?
It's strong. Yeah, it looks like it's pretty tough right now. I think the fact that we're doing these interviews, getting a little bit time. It's supposed to be nice by the time we jump later, so just fingers crossed that everything gets better.
So we're just going through everything. It's kind of awkward. How'd you grow up skiing? When did you start skiing?
Yeah, my parents were professional water skiers, and you were multi-time world champ. Mom's a 2-time world champ, and Craig was a world champ in wakeboarding, but I mean, integral part of the Canadian team for so many years. So, I mean, people always expected me to just be a skier, and but you guys let me do a bunch of different sports when I was growing up and played hockey a lot. And yeah, no, I think the fact that you didn't push skiing on me is why I ended up coming back to it and why I chose to be a skier. So it wasn't something that you guys forced on me. I wanted to be a skier. And
well, in the beginning, actually, Craig got you a wake skate.
Yep.
And
yeah,
that was
he was trying to convert me to the dark side. But yeah, no, I mean, I wake skated, I wakeboarded, I did the air chair a little bit for fun, went to cable parks, skied, mostly skied when grandparents would come down because I know that they liked that. But yeah, then when I was 9 years old, Sebastian, my cousin, who's in Austria right now, I think he's watching. What's up, bud? He went out and tricked, and I don't know, he tricked like 320 points. Like whoever's at home right now, if you want to do it, side slide reverse, back front, I'm pretty sure that's it. And my PB was baby back front. That was it. And so once he did that, I was like, okay, I want to do this. I want to beat him. I want to compete with him. And my competitive side got going, and we've skied together our whole lives. He was here during the Worlds and helped me kind of stay grounded, stay calm, and just kind of remember that, you know, these moments where we're all sitting around having fun, hanging out together, that's really what this is all about, is having those experiences together. And then, you know, going out there and competing is the cherry on top, that we get to do this as our jobs. So you were pretty competitive in hockey, and tell them a little story about, you know, around here, and then you went off to school. Yeah, so I started at a rink really close to here, about 10 minutes down the road, ice zone, I guess skate zone. Then I moved to, you know, the Sunrise area, the Florida Junior Panthers. Ended up playing in Naples for the Junior Everblades. It seemed like every time I went a little bit farther away from home, the teams got better, and ended up in Tampa. And then eventually decided to go to school in Boston for 4 years for high school. Yeah, and it was a really good decision. Obviously, you know, now looking back on it, now that I'm a skier, you would want those years back to just train for skiing, because I do feel like I kind of lost a couple years there of hardcore training that some other people have. But I knew with you and with my mom as the world champions that you guys are, it was going to be a possibility for me to try to do that and then come back and still be a skier. Your seasons was pretty good. Last year you were ripping it, and then had a couple shots at the world record, came back, broke the world record, and how, like, leading up to the Worlds, what was all going on there? Yeah, no, the world record's always been a big goal of mine to break that. Something that our family has rich history into. And so, yeah, I broke it last year in October for the first time at Jack's. And I thought, wow, this is a perfect setup for the Worlds. Like 1 year later, same site. That record ended up getting denied, which was tough. But yeah, came back the next year, took a couple shots at it, was really close a couple times. And then, yeah, just ended up breaking it, in late August, early September. Set myself up for the Worlds really well, kind of was starting to peak right for the Worlds, and went to the Worlds, and Joel and I and Danilo and Martin and all these guys, we put on a show. It was by far the craziest overall tournament I've ever seen. Yeah, for him to break the world record at the Worlds, and for me to be on the world record pace the whole time, it was nuts. I mean, I finished the round, and I didn't even think about that. Rob just said that yesterday or 2 days ago, that in order to be second in the world at the Worlds, you would have had to break the world record, which, I mean, yeah, I've never seen someone break the world overall record at the World Championships, and two of you going at it in the very first round was pretty insane. And then Joel threw down that run. I just told him, I said that was pretty big, pretty gutsy. That was big. Yeah. And I mean, what was going on in your head when when he did that? Yeah, that was probably one of the hardest sets, that trick set for the first round, that I've had to do. I saw him throw down his big run, and in my head I kind of was calculating, thinking that just took it. And for me to know that I wasn't really planning on doing the world record run and gonna push it, I just had to stick to the game plan, and that made it super difficult because I knew I wasn't gonna be able to keep that record. But I mean, it's pending. I'm sure it's fine, but you know, that's just not what I was going there to the Worlds for. It wasn't to set a record. It was to try to win the Worlds, and I could have gone out and tried to do my big run and been a bit too ahead of myself and fallen, and I wouldn't have made the finals. And in the end, I wouldn't have won trick. So, you know what? The game plan, it wasn't exactly what I thought it was going to be, but at the end of the day, it worked out for me, and I came home with the world title in tricks. So I'm happy with how it went, but still hungry for more.
Awesome. Any game plan today with these conditions? We're just trying to delay a little bit here, but goal here is trying to learn about the overall and work on a lot of things and repackage the event. And
yeah, I think this is a learning experience for everybody. I mean, for us, it's just another test. It's how can you adapt to the conditions. The conditions are going to be tough today. Even if it keeps getting better, trick's going to be bumpy, slalom's going to be pretty tough, and then like I've said before, you know, hopefully by jump it'll calm down right as the sun's setting, so that'll be fun. But yeah, no, in general, just adapt to the conditions. That's all you can do right now.
All right, so we'll probably go to a commercial break, and these guys will gear up, and we'll see some tricking and test some trick eye stuff. So just stay tuned.
All right, here we go.
The WWS American Open, presented by WorldWaterSkiers, is brought to you by Ravenol, the lifeblood of your car and boat. By Camaro, the ultra-thin 100% seamless wetsuits for all seasons. And by White Cross, wear it, live it. Visit WorldWaterSkiers.com for all the live action, results, athlete profiles, and more.
Testing, 1, 2, testing.
Ravenol, the lifeblood of your car.
Hi guys, I'm Dorian Llewellyn. I'm here with Janina and Carlota Boneman. We're out here testing some new Camaro gear, but as always, we love our Camaro titanium suits.
This is a Camaro titanium suit. It's super, super flexible and stretchy. It feels like a second skin. You wear it and you feel like you have nothing on and you can move freely. Like even the longer one is a little bit thicker, keeps you a little bit warmer, but it's like, it feels like you're wearing nothing and you can move freely and just perform the best you can.
And since it's that flexible, it's really good to put on, zip it up, put it back off whenever you're done skiing.
Not only that, and not only will you look stylish going down the lake, but also there's no drag on the suit. Water just runs straight off of it, keeps you warm. So in general, I think you're gonna have your best set ever with the Camaro Titanium Pro suit.
At Dillinger Insurance, we have over 50 different carriers to shop your home, auto, and recreational vehicle insurance needs. We would love the opportunity to save you money. We insure $1 million mansions, condos, mobile homes, rental homes, and everything in between. We know all about wind inspections, 4-point inspections, and how to get you the right coverage for your particular home. You've got questions, we've got answers. Can you remember the last time you had a rate decrease with your auto insurance? Let's take a look and see what we can do. We know all the ins and outs of getting our customers the best rates, coverages, and discounts, so put us to the test.
Don't monkey around with your insurance. Call Dellinger Insurance today. We've got tons of companies to help find you the best prices and the best coverage for your particular needs on home and auto insurance. Go Knights!
So here we are, back, getting back on the water. Thanks for everybody joining us. We trying to learn a little bit about the skiers and definitely adverse conditions. But we have Aldo.
Alrighty, here we go. Trick pass number 1.
Edoardo on the water.
Alrighty, so what we're going to look for on this pass, it's going to be interesting to see how he comes in. It looks like a toe pass coming in for his opening pass, trick pass number 1.
First pass, starting with his toe pass, it's going to be a strong headwind here. He's going to have to fight through this.
Well, we've got 2 20-second passes here, and this is going to get things going as he wraps up in trick pass number 1. Here we go, Jarrett.
Yeah, off to 20 seconds here. 360s back-to-back surface. Kind of paused there right at the start there. Got a 540. Here he's going to do a big 360 toe line O. Kind of stuck his foot in the water. Back-to-back 360 and the reverse. Having a little bit of trouble. Just, going for a huge toe line 5 in those conditions. It's just so bumpy out there and trying to figure out the top of the water.
Well, you could see he got a little off axis there, and I think that's one thing that we need to pay attention to as they do these tricks. You get tilted a little too much one way, and it's going to throw you off balance, and that's what happened on that trick.
Yeah, definitely. We go back to the replay here, and starts with the 540, quick 360 back, and 540 here. Having a little bit of delay. This speeds like the film's going a little bit fast here on us, but just sticking our foot in the water a little bit there, a little bit. Just going for a big right 540.
Yeah, it got a hold of him on that one. But hey, he still had a good trick pass in there, had almost all those tricks in. And so that's going to be critical. As we interviewed the skiers before they came out, one of the things we talked about is how much it's important that you stand up on both runs. Because this is an overall competition. Not only do you need to stand up on both runs if it's just in the individual event, but in overall, you're not only are you losing the points for your trick performance, but you're also losing points that are going to help you with your overall performance.
Yeah, every trick counts. Overall is just, you want to just stay up on the water, not go down. That's in these conditions, you might want to back off a little bit and just try to make sure you're steady. Steady is really a safe way to go here. And it's hard to get through these conditions.
Well, it's being steady, but also you got to keep a rhythm there. You can't get choppy on these tricks. You know what I mean? You've got to get in the flow and keep everything working together.
So he was just back on the switched up just on the back of the boat there. He switches his ski, goes to his hand ski, a little bit bigger ski, probably a little stiffer. He's going to up his speed on the boat. Probably he definitely changed out his rope, and that's all up to him. He can make all those changes. Depending on the size of the skis, usually dictates the speed, but we'll see what he's got on his second pass here.
So this should be an exciting run, different from the toe pass where they're doing a lot of revolution turns. We're going to see some air on these tricks on trick pass number 2.
So we see a beautiful shot there coming down the lake. We see how windy it is. He's got a tailwind here. Doing your toe pass into that headwind was definitely was hard, and we saw him struggle through that event. But into the wind's going to be hard. He's got a tailwind. It's pushing him here. He's going to start with the back-to-back mob. Huge back-to-back, nice and clean. Reverse to a half twist to the reverse. Does a big, massive front flip. Really clean. 2 front flips and a 360 over the line. 360 back-to-back. He's right on top of the wake. The judges are going to be looking for that, and that was probably right at the end by the horn. We see his first pass here coming up.
That's amazing. This is the new technology that we have working with this tricking event.
Yeah, we see his replay of his second pass here. And big front flip, reverse.
Yeah, so he has set the mark. So this is what our skiers are having to deal with now as Edoardo goes out on trick pass number 1 and 2 and just had a good performance, went down a couple of times, but still got a...
So we see his score come up here on his first pass, 29.60. That's going to be a little low. Like, you want to see your toe pass in the 4,000 to 5,000 point range. And that's definitely down. You see some of the tricks there in the middle. The big toe line O, it's a TWLO, and he had a 0 there. That's 480 points that he's going to lose on that trick. So we did see his foot go in the water a few times, and you're going to lose. These judges are on top of it. These are world-class judges, and we're testing the trick eye here, the eye trick. And this is a tablet that these guys are judging with. And instead of writing it down, it's taking all that data from all the judges, analyzing it. You don't need a score, you don't need a timer, and we're going to get the scores out a lot faster.
Well, it's amazing because not only are you getting the scores out a lot faster, but it's a really educational tool where you can see the individual tricks that they're doing on each pass, and that is fantastic, especially if you're not someone that knows a trick skier that does these kind of tricks and are around a ski school where they're doing these kind of tricks, where you learn what they are, and when they come up on the score with this.
We're just watching the replay here, a little bit slow motion, and see a huge front flip here, how he lands this trick. Go back to the back-to-back mob. See the reverse back-to-back mob here. And a half twist. You see, we call him from, he's in the front position and then he lands in the back. So we say a back flip with a half twist. And here you see the forward somersault. You have to do tons of load on the tail and pop to the front of the ski and get your body going forward. Really hard to land that trick and be able to go into the next trick and not lose too much time.
And actually, each trick is setting you up for the next trick and the next trick after that. It's a rhythm that you do. So what happens from one trick, the ending of one trick is actually the beginning of the next.
It is, and the cleaner you can make each trick, we have a saying, you don't do the trick fast, it's the stuff in between. You slow is fast and fast is slow. So you try to eliminate all the time in between the tricks, and that's when you're going to go really fast and get
be
extra.
patient with doing the trick.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, getting an extra trick at the run is going to make or break if you're going to win the event or not.
Well, we're delighted to be here with you. I hope you're enjoying it. Now we got our skiing going. We got to chat earlier with the skiers, get to know a little bit about the fellas that are competing today, and now we're out on the water with our first event, the trick event here at the WWS American Open, and delighted to have you folks joining us, and you folks at home. Glad you're watching this, as well as the folks that are here at the tournament. If they can go to their phones, Jared, tell them how they can watch it just being here on the site as well.
Yeah, just go straight to WorldWaterSkiers.com, and you'll find the event page. Whatever is the featured event of the day will be there. You'll find the America Open on there as the featured event. You click on it, and all the details are there. The details about the event, the scores, all the live scores will be there, and also the profiles of the athletes are there. You see photos of everything that's all the athletes that are here, but if you go into the athletes' profiles, you'll see all their social media links, and you'll see all their scores from the whole season. That tracks each skier individually, and that's all free for every athlete around the world. Clubs can do that, so you know your grandma can do that. You don't. Grandma can do it. Everybody can do it, and it just allows everybody to be able to share the sport, and it gives you one place to go. You go to WorldWaterSkiers.com and find your event and follow along.
The Facebook for water skiing.
That is. So, and that's the thing is the more people that use it, the more people that engage with the platform, the more that's going to build the sport. And that's kind of our goal here is try to build the sport and everybody to share and enjoy it.
Well, it's great that it's happening, and I know a lot of time and effort's put into making it happen. Can't thank you enough, Tom and David, for all the work that they do for making this website available to everybody. Okay, here we come. World champ.
Yeah, first world champ, Martin Coleman from Czech. And man, this guy put some effort. He's helped us set up a new site, new course for the jump event, northbound. But you're going to see this guy fly through his run, setting up for a toe 7. You'll see 702, one spin, second spin, into a 540. Oh, no, oh, no.
Oh, and I was just going to say, you've got to stand up on that. So you can't be tilting either way. And once you do it, it'll get a hold of you right at the beginning.
Yeah, you're going to, yeah, you watch this start. He gets decent start, gets a little, probably going a little bit fast here, just loses the line, kind of goes for a little hesitation to try to regain the line before he goes into the back, and just was leaning. And you know, it's so hard to stand on that trick ski. It is, you can't appreciate it until you get on one. You realize this thing's ridiculous, and you know, just you get off axis just a little bit, and it's done. It's over.
It slips. It's like standing on ice. You know, if you're walking on ice and you lose your balance a little bit, you slip out. It's the same type of occurrence.
Yeah, so that's gonna hurt. The trick event is one event that it's tough. Like if you go down in tricks, you dug yourself a pretty big hole, because you know it's just flat out. And slalom, you kind of, you know, you come out, you got a couple passes to get into it, you get into the rhythm, and you know your next two passes are, you know, your money passes, and you know usually you're not off too much. You know, you don't have like a huge bobble. You fall like this at the start of your run, and man, you're in trouble. So we'll see how things pan out for him. But you never know. You can never count anybody out. It's overall is an up and down. It's a roller coaster ride all the time, and he just got to get rid of the emotions here and just say, I'm going to come back and just rock a huge, huge second pass.
Well, you see, and now this is kind of where Edoardo has a little bit of an advantage. Now, all of a sudden, he went from having a couple of falls, and he has a pretty good score right now.
He does. Well, the conditions are tough. You know, we might see everybody go down. So, like, you know, Martin's thinking in his head, oh, man, I'm out of the game. But, you know, like Edoardo was having problems with his sticking his foot in and with the wake, and lost a few tricks here and there. So his scores were down, but he stood up.
Yeah.
But if Martin comes down with a big pass here, he might be still in there. We'll see.
Well, you really can't see how bad the conditions are out there from this camera view. Makes it look pretty delightful out there, but when you're down on the shore, that wind's howling a little bit. And
this is a beautiful sight. I mean, it skis incredibly well. This is known as the slalom haven, and the water is so soft here. Everybody gets great scores here. You have a nice long setup. The only problem is when it's windy, you got a lot of lake to pick up speed, and this is just a huge cold front. Coming from Canada, I apologize for the Canadians sending this down to us, but.
Can you write a letter to somebody, please?
Know.
Make a phone call?
I did not ask for this, but here comes Martin on his second pass, starting with a huge back-to-back mobe, followed with the reverse, goes into a big front flip, straight into a back flip, to a back half twist. Oh, man, he went super mobe there. We'll go back and watch that in the replay, but goes to a 5, hangs on, finishes with a ski line O, just throwing it down and just getting it in.
Wow, impressive. Very impressive. He was just jamming it there. Nothing was stopping him from standing up on pass number 2.
So we're just going back. We saw there's his first pass going down on that second trick. Just a big upset there. But in the middle of his run, he did a super mobe, and that's...
Explain that.
Okay, so you're outside, you're backwards, and he's coming in, and he's doing a backflip, but he's going back to back. So it's a 360-degree turn with a backflip. Then he goes over the line, and I don't came up with the name, but it's pretty cool. I think Alexei invented this trick, Zernasek, who has the world check. We'll see it here in this run. But he actually physically does a body over, a ski line over the line while he's doing the back-to-back mobe. And it's just an incredible trick. And we'll actually probably see Joel come out here and do that trick with another 180-degree turn and turn it into a mobe 5. A super mobe 5, sorry.
We were talking about this yesterday. And being a world trick champion yourself, you live this stuff every day. And with Dorian, your son, winning a world trick title, this is everyday stuff for you folks. And you just don't go out and do that trick. You have to do it in pieces. You've got to learn part of the trick, and then you'll add a little bit more to the trick, and then you'll throw the icing on the cake to make it a complete trick. But it goes in stages.
It does. Yeah, everything. That's why it's so important for, when people get into the sport, to learn the basics. Everyone thinks, I'll just wait and I'll get some coaching later. Really important to get the base down, get really good coaching, stand on your ski properly, and then that's going to really help you in future. Like these big tricks, if you're not standing or you learn something wrong, relearning something is way harder than if you learn it right the first time.
And take your time. And also, when you're learning to trick ski, you learn on 2 skis to begin with.
Exactly. These kids now, they get right into it. But we see in the Martin's pass here, and there's this big front flip. And here comes a super mobe over the line there, and a 540. Not sure why the camera is picking up speed there. It's just going faster than it normally does. And he bobbled, but he got through it. You see there in his run some huge tricks, like the first couple tricks, 800 points. Then
800 points, 60, 800.
And some massive, 800-point tricks are huge. And the higher level guys start putting bigger tricks together. And usually you do a big trick and then an easier trick and then a big trick, and then these guys are doing...
the trick actually sets you up for the next big trick.
Right. And these guys are actually doing big trick, big trick, then maybe a setup trick, and then a big trick and a big trick. These are all big tricks.
Yeah, and they're worth a lot of points, and that's how they're scoring, 11,000, 12,000 points is with that type of a performance, these big tricks, one following another, where you'll see them do, I think what is in the world, Jarrett, you can only do 5 flips in your run, or is it 6?
Six, yep.
And they've eliminated you being able to do, more than that, because they want to see you do more than flips in your performance. There's more to trick skiing than just doing flips.
Yeah, kind of like compulsory tricks. If you open it up only to flips, the whole run would be flips. Collegiate skiing, college skiing, they only do one run and they do as many flips as they want, and those runs are a little bit higher. They're scoring high 7,000 points. Here we're seeing mid 6s because they're limited on a number of flips. But that way you get to see the body overs, you get to see some spins, and you get to see different variations of guys trying to figure out what works best for them in the fastest fashion.
Well, out on the water, ladies and gentlemen, what a treat it is to have our current world overall champion out on the water right now, Joel Poland, coming in from Great Britain, and fun chatting with him and hearing the stories of how they train and trying to share with the audience spectating and viewing the event that there's more to these fellas than just being out on the water. Their college education and the jobs that they have, and still getting out on the water to become a world champion.
Yeah, so here, Joel, starting with an different than most people start with. Not odd, but a big trick on the start, toe line, toe wake 5 back, and then into the big tricks, big toe line 360 there. Moving a little slower, filling out the water, not going as fast, but probably seeing everybody else go down, but see just a solid run. Probably, just learning from the first guys going out there and going down.
Well, you could see he was very patient. Nothing was wobbly. Every trick was very smooth and controlled. And at this stage of the game, it's very important to stand up on both passes.
Okay, we're just seeing Joel pull out here. Going to switch up his ski. And
that fall was from Martin. That wasn't Joel.
Yeah, that was actually Martin from before, yeah. And Joel had a really steady pass there. We see it's almost white capping out there. See Robert and these guys getting ready into under the athlete tent.
Well, we got a second. Want to remind everybody, hey, next year, 2022, on July 2nd, is our 100-year anniversary of water skiing.
That's incredible.
It's amazing. Ralph Samuelson down at Lake City on Lake Pippin. I happened to go by Lake Pippin about a year ago and actually look at the lake and the memorial that they have for him, and it's just kind of an overwhelming experience to see that. 3,360 points on that first pass.
Yeah, a little bit lower. He should be up into the 4,000s, but he toned it down a little bit. You see his toe side up with it. Not a big scoring trick. They took that. Everything else in there pretty good. Toe line O got that 480 near the end of his run, but didn't get down farther than he normally gets in his pass. And
getting a few more tricks coming in. Are those in tolerance, or were they out of tolerance or out of time when they came up with those final tricks at the end? We'll find out here. We'll get that figured out. 22-year-old out of London. And it's, these folks don't get to ski in the, the lovely weather that we have down here in Florida all year long. And that's where the traveling comes in for a lot of these skiers, so they can get into the warmer climates to train, because they're competing against people that are in the warmer climates training.
That's interesting. It says 8 mile an hour. It's, I thought it was a lot stronger than that today, but
settling down a little bit.
Yeah, hopefully as the evening day goes on here, that it's going to back off. That's why we kind of threw the trick event first. I know it's tough on the trick event, but hopefully it'll be a little bit better as it cools down here and the wind backs off and the slalom skiers have a better go at it, and it actually is safe for the guys to go out and jump. So the leaderboard here, Coleman 64.50. Definitely not, you know, to his normal pace. He should be up into the 11,000 points. So off the pace. Joel only have one pass there so far, 44. That's actually a pretty decent score. You know, he got through his pass, probably lost a little bit at the end of his toe pass, toned it down, didn't go quite as fast, but stood up. So he's got a really solid pass there.
I'm surprised Edoardo only scored that many points for the two good-looking trick runs that he had. He must have lost credit on a number of his tricks on those two passes.
We haven't got the second pass is under review, so it hasn't been added.
So we're just waiting on Edoardo's second pass. His score just didn't come in. It didn't calculate, so that leaderboard didn't reflect that. So actually we're looking at only one score on Joel, too, as well. So
it didn't seem quite right because he looked like he skied very well on that two passes that he had.
If we go too fast and the computer, we don't get the score in too quick, they can't go on to the next pass and could put the system. That's some of the bugs that we got to work out with this system, and it's pretty awesome to see the scores coming up this fast. So it's here we go. Big card. Joel's got some incredible flips in this run. There's a back-to-back mob, reverse, switch front. That's huge. Dorian will do that in his run. He goes into another front flip to a half, and there's the 540. Oh, just almost goes down and pulls it out. Going to the ski line 5 and to the ski line 5 back and a ski line back to back. That is a ripper of a run.
Wow. You know, you're talking about what's his favorite event. It depends what I'm doing best at for the day. But it's once again, it's hard to believe these guys are overall skiers. That trick run was like from a specialist trick skier at that level, you know, to do those kind of tricks. That's what's so phenomenal about these overall skiers is that they compete at such a high level in each event.
So here goes his pass again. We go back-to-back mob. He switches around, and that's a switch front. Then to another front, and to a half twist, there is the mob 5, and almost goes down, and he keeps going. Like, he did not lose any time on that. That was simply amazing that he just kept going.
Well, it takes a lot of endurance and strength. You know, the cross training that goes along with this is so critical. They're only 20-second passes each way, but they take a lot of energy and effort when you're putting those kind of tricks together, one right after another. Okay, so we're getting ready. Robert Hazelwood coming out next, and another big thing, want to keep people informed, we got our 100-year anniversary. Also in 2022, we're going to have the World Show Ski Championships, and it's going to be in October next year, the 19th through the 23rd in Winter Haven, Florida, on beautiful Lake Silver, Central Florida, the water ski capital of the world. So that's a big event. Also, it's the home of the USA and IWWF, Water Ski and Wake Sports Hall of Fame Museum. So if you're down in Central Florida in the Davenport area, I'd love to have you stop by the Central Florida Visitor Station where they have the new Water Ski Hall of Fame located.
So as you see Robert getting ready there. I don't know, he's putting something that looks like he had an earache or something. Plugging up his ear, putting on his sock, getting his boot all ready. Maybe that's his coach is coaching him from the side. He's putting it in his earpiece, but
he's calling the plays as he's going down the lake.
Yeah.
Look at Mike Dillinger at Dillinger Insurance. They're supporting.
Oh yeah.
WWS American Open. So delighted to have all you folks here on the sidelines watching. Hey, wave to us so we can see you. We're looking at you right now here in the studio. So wave so that we know you can hear us yakking at you.
Yeah, I want to definitely reach out to all our sponsors, like Mike Dillinger. I called him up just for some insurance reasons, and I was talking to him about the event. He loves water skiing, and he's
national champ.
He is, and he's just like, hey, I want to help you. I want to support you, and I'm like,
yeah.
I mean, that's what's a lot of the people that have stepped up to help us is listen to us and listen to our dream and what we're trying to fix a lot of the things in repackaging our sport and trying to figure out some technology stuff, which costs a lot of money to fix. And I just definitely want to say a special thanks to all those people that have reached out and helped us, like Ravenol Oil. They stepped up and helped us in Austria this year, and they want to continue to support the event, looking at doing more events next year. And if we can figure out some of the technology and getting the sport to come out with instant scores, that would help. And Camaro Wetsuits, they've stepped up. White Cross is a medical clothing company out of Canada. So if you're into the medical industry, they have some incredible clothing. And during the event, they're giving a discount for the next month.
15% off.
15% off, yeah. And
That's great.
Acquire Clothing, they're a Canadian company, and they're also offering a 15% discount.
And what about Red Bull? Huh?
Man, yeah,
They
Red Bull
are
is
a huge supporter of this event. Of course, we cannot thank you and your gorgeous wife, Britta, for all of her work. And what a fabulous night we had last night at dinner. Had everybody sitting at this big, long dinner table you have at your beautiful palace over there on the lake. And boy, Britta and your mom, Christine, helping with that fabulous meal. And like Martin said, we all got to sit around and tell stories and have a wonderful time. Fantastic evening. Well, here we go. Robert Hazelwood coming in on his opening pass.
Yeah, Robert, incredible overall skier. His strong event, like he said, is slalom, but tricks is something that he's solid with. He gets a solid run here. It'll set him up for his overall score. Big front flip. Going into the headwind. Taking a tight line. You got to work extra hard with this headwind. Big ski line O. This is a ski line back-to-back. Oh, no, and going for the ski line 5, that's his last trick. Not a big upset, but he wanted that. He needs to keep everything so that he doesn't get behind here.
And Joel nailing 2 runs, so he's had 2 stand-up performances, so they know they've got to go after that. And right at the end, can't ride out that trick, so he's going to lose some big points there.
Yeah, watching him go through here, he's pretty solid, not losing any time. Going on to the tricks there, just losing it just here at the end on that 540, and was just too close to the boat, didn't get a good edge through the top, and fell into the boat, and that's all she wrote.
Well, a member of the Great Britain team, second place at the World Championships with their team and team overall. Of course, Canada winning another World Championship, another team championship, and the U.S. taking 3rd. But amazing competition at this year's Worlds. I mean, the skiing was off the charts.
Yeah, that's a pretty big feat. That's, the U.S. is pretty darn strong. They got a lot of depth, and they're usually, the ones to beat. And they had a few mishaps.
A couple skiers went down unexpectedly.
Yeah, lost a gate and went down early. And, it's a 6-member team, and you count 3 of the scores. And when a couple people go down, you're in trouble. Everybody needed to do what was supposed to be on paper, and that just didn't happen.
You get a little view there of how bumpy it is out there. Now, Robert came in on his hand pass into a headwind. Is there a strategy to that?
Well, I always like to do a headwind toe pass, regardless how it keeps the line tight, and it allows you to go faster. You have to work way harder, but when you're engaged in the rope, you can go a lot faster. And a lot of people don't do it. I would say 90% of the people actually do toes in a tailwind. And then vice versa. Then if you're whatever pass you're doing in a tailwind, it makes tricks easier, but you lose the line, so you can be slower. But I felt that, going in the tailwind with hands, it actually helped me get air on my flips. I didn't have to work as hard, so yes, you have to keep the line tight, but I thought it was an advantage to do it with the tailwind with hands. So Robert has opted to do the opposite. And possibly it is pretty darn strong. It's almost over the top. But for me, I still would have went and done a headwind toe pass here. and it's just too much work for me to go into a headwind with the hand pass.
Well, being a World Trick Champion, you've been there, done that. Have experienced water conditions all around the world, and I'm sure bumpy water like this is nothing new to your career, as you traveled extensively around the world for an amazing Hall of Fame career.
Yeah, it's we've skied in some pretty stupid conditions, but but you know, that's the one thing about experience. That's why it was shocking to see Martin go down that early. Someone with experience that, you know, you try to tone it down. You have those dials as you get older, you get better at it. Some of these youngsters just throw down and just say go for it. And maybe Martin was earlier up and just decided he needed to go for it to be competitive.
Well, you know, in chatting with him that little bit, I kind of think that's what his game plan is. He's just going to give it a rip. Here we go. Robert Hazelwood coming back, toe pass, trick pass number 2.
Yep. Nice tight toe 540. Surface 360s here. 540 to the front. 360. Robert's a little bit slower than the other guys. This is his weak event. He's working on it, and he's still got huge tricks. There was a toe line O and a toe line back-to-back. It's incredible. Those are big tricks. When I say slow, I mean just a
hair, because he was happy with that performance. He stood up on. He's in the thick of it now. Had a little bobble at the end, trick pass number 1, but there was 2 good.
Yeah, those are 2 solid, really good passes for him. You see right here, 360s, surface back, little bobble there. 540, arms are moving around a little bit, just trying to get his bounce. The line's pushing him. He's probably losing the line with a little bit of slack. Nice toe line O there. That's the biggest trick in that run, and to a huge toe line back-to-back. Finishes off.
But he seemed very patient.
And you know what? He was pretty happy, and he's like, not too bad. Good, definitely could have gone worse. And that was, you know, 2 stand-up passes is awesome.
Hi, everybody. We're going to see ourselves every few minutes. You see us looking up because we got this beautiful big monitor that we're watching to show you everything. Hank Longo, along with world champ Jarrett Llewellyn, and delighted to be here with you at the WWS American Open, the inaugural. And what a delight to have everybody joining us here on site. Thank you, folks, for coming out today, and, of course, everybody viewing it on their computers or their smart TVs. We are delighted to have you join us as well.
Yeah, it's really changed, you know. Since 9/11, everything just kind of pulled back, and you know, it was tough for a lot of years for sports, and everybody had to, you know, rethink things. And you know, we're going up against, you know, football and hockey and all these sports that have so much money in the sport, and trying to do a better job. And that's what we're trying to do here. This is kind of a test event. We're trying so many different things. And again, we're going to have hiccups here and there, but you know, I really appreciate the Okehili Ski Park for letting us come out here and use this facility. It's in my backyard, and it's one of the best facilities in the world. And just we got bad conditions today. You know, it's just too bad.
Unfortunate, but you know, Charlotte Meltzer and the whole crew that helps out here. Can't thank you enough. And Chris Travers, what about this guy coming down here just to help with the
John?
John. I'm sorry, JT. Of course, it's John. Helping with all the technical and being a TC, and of course Martin helping them and skiing. And
yeah,
can't thank all the people that are involved. Les Todd, Hall of Famer, driving that towboat, and
yeah, we got all the legitimate judges here, like. Philippe and Donald's here, you know, from Ireland, and we're testing so much stuff, and it's pretty neat to see everything going on. Just to get everything to talk together, it's going to be a feat, and but
it's happening. We got it going on. Yesterday was disappointing that it was as windy as it was, and for the safety of all the skiers, we just had to take a bye, let them go out and trick ski, and then get a little cut and passing going on at that jump last night just to get a feel of things. But today it's the real deal. This is for all the money, and you gotta When it's Sunday to play football, you got to get out on that field and play.
Yeah, it's a little hard too because they did go out and trick, but they didn't go slalom and jump. They went out later in the evening when sun almost went down, and they rode their jumpers, but they don't have that first round, the preliminary round under their belt. This is kind of all the marbles are on the table today. So here goes Dorian. He keeps the line pretty darn tight. He just won the World Championships. He's solid. He's as consistent as anybody out there. Big toe line O, toe 360, toe line back to back, and the reverse, side, and then a toe wake front. His big run, he would do a toe line front there at the end.
Playing it a little safe.
Playing a little bit safe, yeah. Went with a solid pass and.
Got that Hollywood smile going on after that one. And these guys are in such great shape. It's just amazing to watch these performances.
Sure.
Here's Mr. Les Todd, 2016, and tucked it into the Water Ski Hall of Fame with the award of distinction. Big shout out to Red Bull. Thank you so much for all your support. And here we got the score on that opening pass.
Yeah, that's a decent pass, 43-20. Nothing taken there. You can see he's got full points for everything. If he did, he would get a 0. So he all the way down, toe line back to back, the TWLBB, and then the RTWLBB. That's the toe wake line back to back reverse, 480, 480. He got the toe wake front in, and that's basically everything in that pass. He could have done at the World Championships, his big run, he changes that toe wake front to a toe line front, And that's the difference between him tricking 11. Well, his big run is 11.6 to put him up into 11.8.
And it's interesting now that each of these skiers takes a moment after the first pass to switch skis. It's like everybody does that now, which is, and you explained a little earlier, the difference in those skis and why they do that.
Yeah, everything is just the slalom skis, the bindings, everything's just getting better and better, and that you see the performance is just going up, up, and up. And this is a trick ski made by Ron Goodman Skis, and it's a beautiful trick ski. It's a little bit bigger, a little stiffer, all honeycomb, same stuff you make these jump skis out of a honeycomb that's just like an airplane wing. So really expensive, but here we go. Back-to-back mob, reverse. He does a switch here to a switch front. We saw Joel do that. That's a half twist, and here's a backflip half twist, and he's going to go into a front here. Lands and straight into the ski line 5, bam, and right into a the ski line 5 front, ski line O back, and a ski line 360 back to back.
Oh man,
and that was solid.
There's your world champ right there, folks. I'll tell you, that's how he won that title, with a performance like that. And you said smooth, steady, and consistent. That
you
was
just
gorgeous.
saw in between each trick, no lost time. Like land, line tight, switch right there into a huge front. Straight into a half twist there, and here comes the reverse to that. But this front flip, sometimes you land and get some bobble, and he went straight into the 540 ski line to a ski line 5 front and a 360 ski line and a ski line back to back. And
wow, amazing! And as you sit and watch this, like you said, what enabled him to do that so quickly and just keep his rhythm from one trick to the other so smooth is that tight line.
Yeah, and he did it with the tailwind, but it makes him a little bit lighter, so it makes the tricks. But he kept the line tight on each trick. And what's really critical is we'll see how the score comes up, and it's amazing how fast these scores are coming up compared to regular. Usually we're waiting for 2 hours after the event.
Yes.
And we're pretty much seeing it before the next skier goes out. So you watch Dorian here, flawless. Line tight here,
And
here comes the front flip and big, huge load straight up over the top. The ski has to go right over the head to make sure that's credit. This is 540 degrees to the back, and he comes back, and this is 540 degrees to the front.
Over the rope.
Over the rope. And right there, that trick at the World Championships, his hand slipped off the rope, and then this trick was out of time, and that's the last trick, and that would have put him up into the 11.8 realm, and he ended up dropping down to 11.2, but still won the World Championships with that.
Yeah, and you know, what keeps the line so tight is that edge control that he has. You've got to have edge to be able to keep that resistance against the boat.
You sure do. Yeah, it's so critical to be that accurate and to keep that pace and get that many tricks in 20 seconds.
It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Well, some great trick skiing by our fellas out there. Congratulations, guys. A treat to watch. And that's our first event down in this overall competition. It is the top men overall skiers in the world here at the WWS American Open. And big thank you to all our sponsors. Big shout out to Red Bull and all those folks that are helping us with this event. Ravenol Oil, Camaro Wetsuits. And here we go with some scores.
Well, there you got. I don't think that Dorian's score is in yet. We got Joel leading, Robert Hazelwood, Martin, and I think we don't have all the scores up there yet. So we'll wait to get the full results. They're still calculating those scores, and we'll come back to that to see. I would imagine like Joel and Dorian are going to be really, really close there with the scores. And then Robert's probably going to pull in a third. And then you'll probably see Edoardo and Martin finish out the list there.
All righty. Well, hey, we want to thank you folks for joining us here at the WWS American Open in beautiful West Palm Beach at Ski Club of the Palm Beaches in Okehili Park. Can't thank Charlotte Melchers and company for all their help. And like I mentioned, Ravenol Oil, Camaro Wetsuits, White Cross, Acquire, Center Nautique, thank you so much, Mike Dillinger, Trick Eye, Red Bull, and of course 100-year water ski anniversary coming up in 2022 along with the World Show Ski Championships in Winter Haven in October 19th to the 23rd, and also the new Water Ski and Wake Sports Hall of Fame Museum in Davenport, Florida. Come visit.
So we'll probably just cut to a commercial and maybe go down and just quick chat
with
the guys, and hopefully we get the leaderboard and all the scores up so we can those guys will know what's going on before they go into the next event.
Yeah, and we should get some skiing. We got a couple young kids that are going to go out there and do a little performance for us. Aiden Holscher and his brother Ethan Holscher, both students at Brinks Forest Elementary School, and they live here in Wellington, members of the Ski Club of the Palm Beaches. So hopefully we'll see these guys out there skiing and showing us what the young future skiers of the world are going to be. And also have our special guest Mikey Caruso, former U.S. team barefooter and junior world.
Oh, we got the little guys going out. That's right. We're gonna have a little exhibition here by the little guys that from the club.
Yep, we got Aiden, who's 10 years old. He skis in boys too, placed third in the nationals in slalom. And then we have Ethan, that's 8 years old, and he skis in boys 1, and he placed 7th at the nationals in slalom and trick. So two of our young up-and-comers here, members of Ski Club of the Palm Beaches. Ethan, get down to the start.
Hey guys, Dorian Llewellyn. I'm a 3-event water skier, I'm a Camaro athlete, and I'm also a huge fan of the new Camaro Core vest. This vest is amazing. I honestly didn't think that Camaro could make a vest that was lighter and also thinner than their last version, but this one not only does that, but also keeps the structural integrity the same while also lifting you up while you're in the water. Now, there are a lot of things that I like about this vest. I love the fact that they kept the overall design the same. They have this armor-looking plate in the front, and it overall looks great. Inside, there are some new things around the waistline. There's more structural integrity, and also at the back, a bit of extra support so that it'll keep form for a lot longer. When you put it on, there really isn't anything that restricts you from getting it on, getting it off. When you have it on, there's also nothing that really restricts your arms either. You're able to move around, move freely, ski your best, while also looking good. So I love this vest.
Ravenol, the lifeblood of your car.
Hi guys, I'm Dorian Llewellyn. I'm here with Janina and Carlota Boneman. We're out here testing some new Camaro gear, but as always, we love our Camaro titanium suits.
This is a Camaro titanium suit. It's super, super flexible and stretchy. It feels like a second skin. You wear it and you feel like you have nothing on and you can move freely. Like even the longer one is a little bit thicker, keeps you a little bit warmer, but it's like, it feels like you're wearing nothing and you can move freely and just perform the best you can.
And since it's that flexible, it's really good to put on, zip it up, put it back off whenever you're done skiing.
Not only that, and not only will you look stylish going down the lake, but also there's no drag on the suit, water just runs straight off of it, keeps you warm. So in general, I think you're gonna have your best set ever with the Camaro Titanium Pro suit.
A year?
You gotta hold that for the audience. So that
All right, here we are.
Great, two of our little young superstars. What is your name?
Aiden Hosha. Ethan Hosha.
Aiden and Heisher. And how long you been skiing?
I've been skiing for a year. Same thing.
Alrighty, and you guys are going to go out and perform for us today and show us what great superstars you are?
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. We're looking forward to that. So, folks, we're going to let these young guys go out there and ski while we're taking a little break in between our events.
We'll bring in Edoardo. Where is he? Sure.
So how did that round go? Trick was fine. It was really windy. Headwind toes was pretty rough. But overall I stood up until my last trick, and then I went too big on my last front flipping hands. So my ski ends kind of like got messed up a little bit, but can't complain in these conditions.
Were you deciding which way do you normally go with toes?
I do always go with toes first.
Okay. Regardless of the wind?
Regardless of the wind, Corey always tells me to always go first wherever you start in practice.
So we haven't heard your score yet, right?
I haven't heard your
No, okay. We haven't. We're just waiting on the scores. So second pass went pretty good, and
second pass was pretty good. First pass, after my toe-away cove, I got pushed back from the wind, and all my toe lines were kind of messed up, and some pre-turns, some maybe foot in the water, but it is what it is.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Some of the other guys went down. Any game plan going into slalom? What are you gonna start with?
I'm gonna start 32. Try to get 38 headwind, and yeah, see how it goes.
Okay. All right.
Thank you so much.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Martin, so how was that?
Interesting.
Yeah, I was a little shocked. What happened right at the start?
So I, knew the headwinds kind of up and down. It looked a little stronger, so I wanted to push, get my toe pass in, and just pushed a little bit too hard. So then I wanted to back off and kind of got off balance and just fell.
Yeah. It looked like you tried to set yourself and. And second pass was pretty good. You rocked right through it, and little bobbles here and there, but you just kept going and you just kept throwing tricks.
Yep, yeah, just, you know, I knew when I fell I'm going to be behind chasing the other guy, so I have another 20 seconds on the second pass, get as many points as I could, and kind of try to stay in hopefully a shooting distance.
All right, well, what are you starting at in slalom?
I think 32, and, you know, just
headwind 38.
Headwind 38, and then it is what it is.
Yep. All right. Well, good luck. Awesome. So, Joel, pretty good run. Did you change up any? Like you did a big hand run. Did you back off a little bit in toes, or?
Well, as I came around the corner in toes, I'm looking at the water, and I don't know if it was just me, but it looked crazy windy for me. And we had John Travers in the boat. I smiled at him and like shook my head, thinking I'm gonna fall on my first trick. So I'm thinking at this point, it's not a competition of who can trick the most, it's who can stand up the longest. Two guys before me had kind of messed up a bit as well. So I kind of went out just trying to stand up the toe run.
Yeah.
It ended up being a really good toe run.
Yeah.
Then as I came back on hands, I knew I was going to have a lot of line on my Super Mode 5 because I pull pretty hard, it's a tailwind, I'm going to be loose. And I did. And I almost messed up, I almost fell. I don't know how I moved straight into ski line O. It ended up being a pretty good transition. But yeah, like I definitely had to back off a lot there. So that would explain the 1,000 points missing.
But your Mode 5, you could land it all a little bit on the inside, but you went straight back into your next trick. You didn't lose a lot of times. I thought you were coming up short, and then you were like, it was good.
Yeah, I thought the same thing when I landed. I was like, uh-oh, I thought I was going to go in. And the line got tight, and it kind of popped me, so I just went straight into ski line O. Normally I do a ski line 5, so I had to kind of like make a quick adjustment, but I mean, we trained for it. Yeah. So
yeah,
it worked out.
Yep. And I haven't seen the official score yet, but really good stand-up pass. Robert, yourself, and Dorian had pretty solid passes. The other guys will have to dig deep, I guess.
Yeah, I think at the moment I tricked 11, Dorian tricked like 10-7 or 10-8.
Okay.
So we're like, it's worlds all over again.
Yeah.
We're neck and neck.
Here we go. All right, well, it's got the kids on the water, but we'll bring Robert in and just see what he thought. Watching the little guys rip it up here, it's pretty rough out there for them.
Like, I was going to say, no pressure, is it?
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely ripping it.
No, pretty good pass.
Yeah.
Did you back off? Toes look a little slower than you normally do.
That's about my normal pace of toes. no, it was tough. I haven't been tricking a crazy amount, and I came in. Obviously, I knew that I had a better chance of getting through my toe run in the tailwind, so I had to commit to kind of hands in the headwind, which I'm glad I did. But just got pulled up a little short, so I had to bottle the mob. Little ripper there. Yeah, I had to bottle the mob, so I ended up kind of doing half cab second trick. Then was always trying to figure out, when you readjust your run, you got to figure out what you haven't done and what you can do and what's a reverse and what's not a repeat. So I was pretty happy to. I'm not sure what my score was. I think Joel mentioned 9-3 or something.
Yeah, I haven't seen the official scores yet. They had a problem with 2 of the runs went on, and they had to go back and look at the video. So they were coming up pretty quick. And
yeah, but no, it was. I was happy. I couldn't have done much. Obviously, I'd like to not have bailed on the mob and the skill line 5. Obviously, would have been nice to land, but I feel like in the conditions, it was obviously tough out there, so I was happy to come away with what I got.
So, plan for the slalom event? What are you starting at?
Don't know. We'll figure it out, to be honest. I have no idea. I'll stand on that dock and I'll see, right, how are we feeling? Are we feeling? I'm probably going to be a choice between 35 and 28. I don't think 39 tails the way to go unless something very bad happens to the 3 people before me. But no, we'll see. But I think it's probably going to be a 28 or a 35 start and then commit into that 39 head.
All right, well, good luck.
Thank you very much.
So Dorian, here, how was that? I haven't seen the official scores. Have you heard something?
I've heard a little bit. I'm not exactly sure if anything's final yet. I think it's pretty close between Joel and myself.
Yeah.
I don't think either one of us really nailed our runs. My toes was a little bit of a bobble fest with the headwind. I was kind of struggling to get the rope going. I was back and forth between doing hands or toes first, and settled on toes. And then for hands, I was just slow. Just a bit slow. So lost my last trick. Scaling back tuck was out, and I knew it. Every flip was slow. But it was tough out there, so I didn't want to go down. I just wanted to stand up and
that
move
was
on.
unfortunate for Martin to go down, but you had three. Robert, yourself, and Joel had pretty decent passes, and it's settling down here now. It's actually
it's looking
decent
pretty nice
for slalom now. So we kind of knew that was probably going to happen. We got the kids out here.
Yeah, it's good for these kids because the way it was when we were tricking, man, they would have been bouncing all over the place. But these kids are troopers anyway, so I'm sure they wouldn't have complained.
All right, well, good luck. What's the plan in slalom? What are you going to start at? You know yet?
I mean, if it keeps settling down, I might start at 28 off, actually. I don't know. Rob might start at 35 to get the 38 tail, 39 head, but I'm a bit more comfortable starting at 14 rather than 12. 11 comes up on you so fast if you start at 12. So probably start at 14 and see what happens after that.
All right, well, good luck.
Okay.
We'll watch the kids here, or we'll cut to commercial and get some slalom on the go.
At Dillinger Insurance, we have over 50 different carriers to shop your home, auto, and recreational vehicle insurance needs. We would love the opportunity to save you money. We insure $1 million mansions, condos, mobile homes, rental homes, and everything in between. We know all about wind inspections, 4-point inspections, and how to get you the right coverage for your particular home. You've got questions, we've got answers. Can you remember the last time you had a rate decrease with your auto insurance? Let's take a look and see what we can do. We know all the ins and outs of getting our customers the best rates, coverages, and discounts, so put us to the test.
Don't monkey around with your insurance. Call Dellinger Insurance today. We've got tons of companies to help find you the best prices and the best coverage for your particular needs on home and auto insurance. Go Knights!
Alrighty, here we are, everybody. Welcome for joining us again here at the WWS American Open. Hank Longo along with world champion, Hall of Famer Jarrett Llewellyn.
Yeah, we got to go down and talk to the athletes, find out what was going on in their head, and see what their game plan is. Edoardo was on the back of the boat, ready to go out for slalom. We're good to go, and we just saw the kids out there having a rip. The water is starting to settle down. It's calming down a little bit, and that's a little bit better for the jump event. But we have some scores up, and the leaderboard. We have 11,090 for Joel Poland, and Dorian with a 10,780. And we have 9310 for Robert Hazelwood, 7,900 for Edoardo, and Martin is at 6,450. So he's definitely in a little bit of trouble after the trick event, but he'll pull it up in the slalom event and be back in this. Someone could go down and slalom, and the whole game will change. But in the overall race, so that puts Joel Poland in the lead with 1,000 points. He is the base for the biggest score. So he starts with 1,000 points, and then everything is based off that. So Dorian's points come into 972.5. So he comes in second place. Robert Hazelwood is in the third spot with 839 points. Edoardo is in fourth position with 712, and Martin back a little bit, 581. So the three guys really close, Joel Poland, Dorian, and Robert Hazelwood. And here we go, slalom event. Hopefully the conditions aren't too bad. They can keep their ski in the water, and we can see some deep passes here.
Well, this is where it all starts right here.
Right there, we can see that Edoardo is going to start at 32 off. It's going to a headwind.
The mean green, the green loop, and this is where short line slalom skiing really begins. Any little error at this line length, although this can be a walk in the park for these guys. I've seen the best guys in the world taken down on this pass too. So this is going to be a good opener. Give them a chance to feel things out, get an idea of what the wind conditions are like on the water. And 32 feet off the original tow line length, the 75 feet, we go to meters, which makes it a 13-meter line length.
I like to call this I want to try to switch things up here. There's like 6 extra feet here, so I call this +6. It's 2 meters extra rope going around, so you know how much room is left. As we go to the next pass, the 12-meter line, you're at only 3 feet. Then 11 meter, you're actually now cannot reach the buoy. That's where I get into trouble. The short guys are in trouble at that point. But you all go down to 43 off, and this is like 5 feet, more than 5
7
feet
inches,
short
5
of the
and a half
buoy.
feet.
I mean, it's insane. So we want to see, here comes the replay. Nice strong pull out. He does a two-handed gate here. Super strong headwind. Was a little slow there on the gate, definitely because of the wind. He's just feeling things out here. Not too much chatter there. Doesn't look like too bad of conditions. It was white capping earlier, so we definitely delayed some time here, and conditions not too bad. And this will make the guys feel a lot better once they get out there. The jump is actually doable.
Yeah, it's going to give them some more confidence, getting them settled down a little bit and get some of those nerves to settle down and see that this is actual skiable water. And that was a good-looking opening pass. He didn't have any trouble with that.
Yeah, again, all the people sitting in I haven't been outside, and there's some people sitting down there. Appreciate everybody coming out and watching the tournament. Make sure you go to WorldWaterSkiers.com. Watch the event live. Watch what we're watching. Watch the replays that we're seeing, and follow along and follow these athletes, and make comments and get engaged.
Edoardo Marenzi out on his second pass here.
Yeah, definitely wind pushing him here. Strong wind. You might see the line drop out a little bit. He's feeling things out. This is 35 off. Still, 3 feet extra rope, but you cannot bobble. When you have a tailwind like that and you make a mistake, man, it can be all over really, really quick. These guys the boat's going 36 miles an hour, and these guys are reaching up to 65 miles an hour going across the wake.
Yeah, it's amazing how fast they get going out there, and it's all about edge control, especially in these kind of conditions, line control. If you're properly managing edging on your ski It's going to keep you hooked up to the boat, keep a tight line, which is so critical coming into the turn. When you make the turn, you've got something to turn on and not waiting for that.
Yeah, we just
slack
watched
to
the
tighten
replay
up.
there. It's a beautiful, beautiful pass. Looking at Okehili there. It's a beautiful setup. 5 lakes here, just an incredible ski club. So much going on. They have tournaments all year, and just happy to be here and be testing all this stuff out.
Oh, it's fantastic. And for those folks that aren't real familiar with the slalom event, the standard length is 75 feet of tow rope, which is actually 23 meters. But on each one of these passes, they shorten that rope a little bit more to make it more difficult. So now he's run 13 meter, 12 meters, which is 32 off, 35 off. Now we're coming at 11.25 meters, 38 feet off the line.
Yeah, here we're actually short of the buoy here, so he has to use his body to reach out around the boat. Decent start, little bit like out of 2 ball there, deep out of 3. A little bit of a tail slide, like, oh, he's just going down.
Man.
Was kind of having a little bit of trouble out of 2. Thought he was kind of back in it at 3. You know, little tail slide at 4, and then just popped the handle at 5. So
almost had. Really, that was an important pass to make.
Yeah, we watch it here again, watch it in slow motion replay, and God, not too bad of a 2. Little drop in there at 3 ball. Little hook up deep out of 4 and kind of rocked over there and just dropped his inside shoulder again and just got that whiplash and just could not hang on to the slack.
You know, once his head dropped, along with it, his upper body broke, and it's kind of hard to salvage it at that point. But still, some great skiing in those conditions, and we'll see how the other skiers handle it. You know, he's gone out and set the pace for the 4 guys waiting on the dock, and that's the pass you got to beat right now, 4.5 at 11.25.
Yeah, he kept coming up short, and definitely that's going to happen in that strong headwind. You know, you come in a little bit short, dropping in on that inside shoulder, trying to reach out around the buoy, and then getting a little bit too deep, whipping you up over to the other side, and then he kept coming up short. And these next skiers probably watching that, you know, learning from the guy in front of you. That's the advantage of being a later seed, and make sure you don't make the same mistakes.
Yeah, well, Martin knows that he's got to go take care of business. Unfortunate fall early on trick pass at number 1. That's kind of really put him in a pickle here for this overall competition. That's the thing about overall. Jarrett, 2-time world overall champion, knows this all too well, is that you've got to have performances in each of the individual events, and otherwise it's catch-up ball. But right now we've got all our skiers are looking pretty good.
Yeah, Martin just taking the skiers to the end of the lake. We like to start in front of the crowd, get everybody to see these athletes get ready, prepare, you know, be part of it. And they're just going to go down to the end of the lake, let it settle down. Martin running a good slalom ski there, 2 double boot. And the equipment nowadays is just phenomenal, and the performances have shown that. But Martin is deep and involved with good and testing and changing flexes, and this guy he's pretty smart guy. He's, you know, and it helps your career. Like if you understand how to set up a fin and understand, you know, the ski technology, it definitely raises your game.
Explain the fin for the folks that might not be aware of what that is.
Yeah, like the fin on the back of a car or a race car. You know, on the fin at the back of the ski, you make a small little adjustment, it changes the whole ski. The front of the fin works the front of the turn, the back of the tail works, you know, the finish of the turn, how deep it is. Every time you just change that fin a little bit, you can change the characteristics of the ski. The ski, one thing, and you know how it's set up and the bevels on it is one thing, and the flex is one thing, but the fin is like you can totally manipulate the ski with it, and
it's a science.
You really have to know what you're doing. It's you know. You set up this car wrong and you go into the curb. You know, this is what happens here. So a guy that knows his system or on a setup better, you know, is got a huge advantage over the other athletes. Well, and these skis are like this. The equipment is not cheap. I mean, it's
a couple $1,000 for the ski.
Yeah, so you know, it's hard to go out and, you know, test skis and try new stuff when everything's so expensive. So these You know, there's a lot of great shops around the country. You know, Miami Ski Nautique and Performance Ski and they have ski. You can test skis and go out and try stuff, and that's really great for the sport.
Okay, here we go. Martin Coleman coming in on his opening pass. I think he's starting off at 35, it looks like to me, Jarrett.
Man, it does. Look, yeah. 12-meter line. So that's a big call. He's got a headwind here. He's going to run the 38 tail, and he wants a 39. He knows that he's kind of in trouble after the trick event, and he knows he needs to run the 39 to get back in the game. So a solid pass, but I mean that's no easy pass to sneeze at. Most people can't even run. This is where they call it the boys from the men from the boys. Like when you run 35 off, it's a big deal. So
it is. I mean,
to come out cold
off,
and just do that's
good skiing in itself. You run 35 off, you're starting to become a slalom skier.
Yeah.
These guys can start at 35 off.
Oh yeah.
And it's funny at the World Championships with the tie. They tied at 2 buoys at 41 off, so they had to come off cold off the dock at 39 off, and they ran it.
Yeah, it was Joel Poland had sat on the shoreline for like an hour and a half or 2 hours and came out cold 39 and ran it. That was just insane. So Martin looking really solid here. Line's tight, a big headwind, but now we kind of know what's in his head. He knows that he's got to run this tailwind 38, and then he's going to be, set himself up for a really good 39. So watch him here.
And you can't pull too long here, Jarrett. You got to make it a little quicker with this much of a tailwind.
Yeah, that was a crazy edge change. He's a little bit in trouble into that 2-ball. He's down course. He's just got to, oh, no. He knew he popped up out of 2-ball. He got a huge edge change and loaded the ski and popped him in on his inside edge too hard and was in trouble. And with the tailwind, to be in trouble at 2-ball right at the start was going to be difficult to make back up. So we're just watching the replay here. Decent 1-ball. You watch the edge change right here. He just jumped hard on that and he ended up dropping that inside shoulder and lost some ground. So he's trying to make up, losing ground, losing angle, getting pushed down course, and with that tailwind, it was all she wrote.
Yeah, just no saving you at that point. And it's a perfect example how just one little thing can goof up a pass. You know, and
And, hats off to Martin. I mean, he went for it. He's like, he knew that he needed to run that 38 off tailwind because, if he would have done that, it would have put him in position to run 39 head. And all these other guys are probably going to come out here and run a headwind 38. That would have changed the game for sure. They would have reconsidered what their game plan was if Martin would have pulled that off.
So he's going to get, what they end up with, 4 at 11.25 on that one for?
Yeah, 4 at
38, 11.25
38 off for Martin. And
Joe Poland coming up, and like we said, skied excellent at the World Championships, and that performance was one of the events that he scored well in that gave him a world overall title. And off to a good start with 11,090 points. Well, a beautiful November day. A little windy, cool, not too much, but beautiful day here in beautiful South Florida at Okehilly Park, home of Ski Club of the Palm Beaches. Can't thank Charlotte Melchers and company, all the volunteers that have helped out to make this happen. And been here for a long time, 5 regional championships. I think they've hosted 18 national championships, a world championship, a U.S. Open. So they have contributed year after year in helping our sport, helping us have national championships. We'll be here in 2022 for the national championships. They're going to be in Mays, Kansas this summer, and then we're going to be down here in West Palm, I think, for a couple of years.
Yeah, it's incredible. They 5 lakes. All you have to do is go down and get a permit, and you're good to go. So not too many facilities around the world like this. And here we have Joel Poland, world overall champion, solid in all 3 events. And looks like we're at 32 off. Feel out pass here. Joel's got a beautiful style. You know, all these guys, just the edge change, just coming through the wake, just effortless. And you really see that with all the top skiers, just how well these guys ride their skis. And, you know, tricks is a huge thing that really teaches proper balance, and these guys definitely have it.
Oh, man, it's just, you're not going to see them move around on their ski very much. As he comes in, just watch how there's very little movement. They stand tall, they get that turn, and then that leverage behind the boat, great line control, keeping the line tight, and not a lot of movement, because for every movement you got to have a reverse movement, and the more efficient you can be with your body position on the ski, the easier it makes it for you.
We had a shot there of Lester. Les Todd's been around for so many years. I pulled me for so many of my records, and in the sport for a long time. There's so many great people. You've been in the sport a long time, and that's what's so great about water skiing. It's a family oriented sport around the world. How many people I've met, you know, and the families are just incredible. So
well, it's the family that gets you, and I know your mom and dad contributed so much to you and Craig's water skiing and getting you training with the best coaches in the world, and that's a big sacrifice for the folks. And it's a fabulous family sport. Second pass coming in, 35 off.
Yeah, 35 off. We're 3 extra feet, 1 extra meter at the buoy. Still a little bit of room to squeak around as for short guys, but tricky thing is here is running that tailwind, and these first 2 passes feeling stuff out. He looks really, really good.
So 12-meter line length, 35 off, completed. Coming back at 11 to 5 meters, 38 off. This is...
Yeah, you really watch solid over his ski. Loads up, good edge change. Just loading up the back arm, pulling everything through. You just so effortless through the wakes. And rock solid with a tailwind. That's nice to see.
My buddy Lester Todd. You got the best skiers in the world. This gentleman here is one of the best boat drivers in the world.
So again, if you're just tuning in, thanks for joining us on shore. We had a car show today. Thanks for all the vets and the Corvette group, and my neighbor Gene Montgomery. He's one of the members and got all these guys to come out, and we had, you know, some other exotic cars, and maybe next year we'll be bigger and better. So that's the plan for the next 5 years.
Okay, next pass coming up, 11.25, 38 feet off the tow line. Here we go, coming in.
Yeah, a little advantage over Martin. He has a headwind. Edoardo ran it this way, but only got past 4-ball here. So Joel, a little bit of deep out of 4-ball. Oh, sorry, out of 5-ball there, but no problem, and runs the 11.
A little loose line on a few of those turns, and I think what's important for the spectators to watch as we get into these shorter line lengths is how he keeps the ski in the water. Does the ski come up in the turn in number 1 ball, or does he keep it down? Came up a little bit on him, and that's it costs you just a little bit because you've got that little hesitation until you get the ski down in the water again.
Yeah, not too bad. It's a little squirrely. Out of 1, didn't have a great one, but he had a killer 2, and then you know, a few hiccups here and there, but
made the pass.
Made the pass. Looks the same on paper. 6 buoys is 6 buoys.
And now we get into the nitty gritty. 39 feet off the tow line. So at this line length, they're actually 2 feet 4 inches shy of the buoy. If you ran the rope perpendicular from the center of the course out to the buoy, you're going to come up a little shy.
Yeah, so 39. I call this the 2.5 off. 2 feet short, 2.5 feet short. Right, here we go. He's got to use his whole body to get out, time it out around the ball, and it's a tailwind. So a little slack there at 1 ball, down course at 2. Is he going to get out to 3? No, he does not. And pretty solid score, but might leave the door open a little bit for Robert and them to come in and try to squeak out a couple buoys on him.
So 2 at 39 off.
Here we go. Joel doing a 2-handed turn. A little narrow on the gate. Not too bad. Just a little wheelie down course at 1. Definitely down course. Doesn't keep the line tight and just cannot get the angle and get this.
Didn't get it from the beginning, and that's where it's so critical. You know, you've got to nail that number 1 ball turn and get good angle and get set up for 2 to get a rhythm going and get the pass going. Actually give you enough space to make that turn on the next buoy. So things are getting interesting here as Joel puts up a good score. Getting into 39 in these windy conditions is admirable skiing. And this is what Martin was trying to do. If he could have got that 38, he could have taken advantage of that 39 off pass. That's what he was hoping, but came up a little shy on that. So
they're going to run Robert to the end of the lake. And Robert was kind of a little bit reluctant to tell me what he was going to wait right till the end, look at the conditions, and make the call on what he's going to start at. So it'll be interesting. So I just want to reach out to a lot of friends, personal friends that have helped me, they've just been incredible. Listening to, trying to change the sport and people just stepping up and making the sacrifice. So many people here this weekend being volunteers and just coming down and letting us test some of the technology here. And, just that's the biggest thing. Behind the scenes is kind of what I feel is that needs to be fixed, and the tricks is a big thing. But Ravenel, we want to really appreciate them supporting us. Camaro Wetsuits, White Cross out of Canada. Again, if you go on there, if you're in the medical industry, get a discount for a month. Acquire clothing, go online, go to the WorldWaterSkiers.com, and you can find all the links. And Pierre Plouffe, thank you very much. Center Nautique up in Canada Resort. He does a phenomenal job up in Mont Tremblant. Has all these boats and a summer camp. Everybody goes out there and just, he's like the mayor there. He just take care of everybody. And
that's fantastic.
He can rent all the boats, and he's always, his heart is so big and helps out the sport, and we appreciate that. And Mike Dillinger just jumped up and, like, as soon as I was talking to him about it, he goes, "Hey, I want to help you out." So that was, thanks, Mike. And Splash Eye and Red Bull. Red Bull, just incredible, the support. A couple of years ago, they said, "Hey, we're willing to help your sport along," and here we are.
Yeah, big shout out to Visit Central Florida for 100-year anniversary coming up in the sport and all they're doing to let people know about it. And the World Championships, the Show Ski Championships 2022 in October 19th to 23rd in Winter Haven. And our Hall of Fame for the USA and the IWWF in Davenport, Florida at the Visit Central Florida Visitor Center. New Hall of Fame. So a big shout out to those folks for all their support and the neat things coming in.
So Robert Hazelwood, this is a strong event, Slalom, and it's interesting because he went out at 35 off. He did what Martin did. He wants to run the headwind 39, so he's going to try to run this 38 off tailwind, and Robert is the guy to do it. So solid pass, but that was a big pass, 35 off, straight off the dock. So interesting. He knows that he needs to gain a little ground on Dorian. After the trick event, he's behind, and this is the event where he can go ahead.
Make up some distance.
Yep, so he's like, I'm going for it. I'm going to throw down.
Well, hi, everybody. Hank and Jared here with you. Hank Longo, Jared Llewellyn, world champion. 8 world championships, 11 world titles, and what makes it so cool for us to be here is that you had 2 world overall titles, and That's what this event is all about, is the overall skier, just the phenomenal athletes, and what a treat to spend time with them.
Yeah, just giving them a platform, let these guys, they're incredible athletes. They deserve to come out here and show what they have. So here we go. Robert on his second pass, tailwind 38 off. Losing the line a little bit there. Looking pretty good, solid too. Little late out of 3. Good 4. Oh man, gets pulled forward into 4 ball. Or sorry, 5. Can't even count.
Man.
Man, look at his face. He's just shocked. He just ran that. So
wow, how did I pull that off?
yeah, he got launched into 5 ball there. He got loaded up and almost went down at 5 ball. We'll watch it again here. Solid gate. I think he gets a little loose line here, but just backsides
Nails
2 ball,
too.
like just nice. Loses the line, loses a little angle there. Deep out of 4, almost gets pulled forward. Back in it at 5. Run 6. Tailwind 38. Gotta like that.
Beautiful. Got the job done, like you said, on paper. It's all the same. 6 buoys, 11.25,
Well, that's
38 feet.
a big 6, because that tailwind, that sets him up well for 39. And
So-
that, again, that'll make the next two, like Joel and Robert, are probably now scratching their head, like, what, is that what I do, or
Yeah.
or are we far enough ahead in tricks? So that's the thing.
So what you have to look for on this pass, the skier coming in, is how they keep that ski in the water coming around the number 1 buoy. That's really going to set them up for the rest of the pass. So if they can keep the ski in the water, get a good tight line to turn, they're off to the races. Otherwise, it gets to be a little catch-up.
Oh, no. Little half a buoy there.
Okay, so a half at 39 for Robert Hazelwood. So 2 at 39. 10.75 meters for Joe Poland.
Yeah.
He's kind of sitting in the driver's seat a little bit right
know,
now.
yeah. Is it 39? Just double checking there. We just thought we heard a different score, but it is a half at 39, and watch Robert here on the replay. Gets a good setup, but the wind's pretty strong, maybe a little bit slow, and probably came up a little bit short. Yeah, a little bit short there, and had to extra reach and kind of maybe just bumped the buoy there, and it dropped him in, and he couldn't get the ski back underneath him. And he set himself up well with the headwind, but just underpulled coming into 1 ball and misjudged the wind.
Well, here we are, our number 1 seed, last guy out in this slalom event. Then we're going to go right into jumping, so we're not going to have much of a break there.
Yeah, we're conditions are great. We're going to move right through it, and
alrighty, so taking Dorian down to the end of the lake, and he'll get mounted up there. Nice little solid white boot there, strap him in. Kind of looks like just like a ski boot, actually. The technology has changed so much over the years. They have a special binding that they put the boot into that will release, kind of like a snow ski binding, actually. Gives them good control on the edges. They're just kind of a part of the ski with these new bindings. When they start to go on edge, it immediately goes on edge. 25 years old. What's amazing about Dorian, he's still in college, working on his master's degree. So when these skiers get out of school, it's not like they've got a $1 million contract with the NFL or Major League Baseball or hockey or any of the big sports, basketball. They get out of college and they're going into a profession, and this young fellow is an amazing student.
yeah, he has a physics degree already at Rollins College. Loved going up there, and now going for his master's degree. And Right now he's doing systems engineering, and then he's going on to mechanical engineering. So yeah, he's busy. We keep him busy, and he works hard on the water and off the water. So here we go.
Opening pass, 13-meter line length, 32 off. Dorian Llewellyn.
Yeah, 32 off. Extra 6 feet. Dorian's a little bit taller than me, not a lot, so he's not a big guy. It's funny, when he was younger, he grew really fast, and he was one of the couple biggest kids on the ice in hockey, and people were like, man, whose kid's that? And we're like, that family over there, and they're like, no, the tall kid. And so we thought he was going to be tall. Britta's brothers and family, she's the shortest one in the family. And we have the leaderboard there, Joel leading. But we thought Dorian was going to be really tall, so we thought maybe hockey was a career for him. And it's great that he's found the love for the sport. He's a true competitor. He goes after it.
I'm sure he does. Alrighty, so Dorian making that opening pass, 13 meters, 32 feet off the toe line, leading the event right now with a couple at 39 off, 10.75 meters, Joe Poland, and then a half at 39, 10.75 meters, Robert Hazelwood, and they also had good trick scores, so things are heating up in this overall battle. This is what makes it exciting.
There you go. You saw this, the cameraman showing us the blue line there, just double checking. So that is the 35 off loop. 35 off is the 12-meter pass. 3 extra feet here. A little bit of a tailwind, so he's just feeling the tailwind out here, keeping everything tight, losing a little bit of angle there. Down course a bit, but not a big problem. Beautiful 5-ball, easy as can be. And
he's taking care of business.
Yeah, definitely. You could see all the different game plans here, guys. Some guys going out wanting to run the headwind 38 or a tailwind 38. Dorian choosing to run the headwind 38. So he saw the other guys going. No one really got too deep at 39, so he said, you know what, I'm not going to sacrifice and go down at 38 and nope. Split.
Okie dokie. Well, big pass coming up here. Started at 32. Came back at 35. And this is going to be critical. Once again, it's going to all take place with the start. He's got to come in, have a nice tight line, keep that ski down in the water, making the turn around 1 ball, get him good angle coming through the wakes to set him up for 2, give him some space to get out wide, make a good turn, keep the rhythm going, and get all 6.
Yeah, this pullout is really critical. When you time it, how much wind, he's felt it out. He needs to make a really good adjustment on how much swing he gets here, so he gets a glide and he makes the turn in here, free of the line, gets a good edge change, wide enough to get angle on. Really good 1 ball there. You know, little bit of line losing out of the, back in it.
Who's going to need
Good
a big
4
turn
ball.
at 5?
Yeah. There you go.
Oh, there you go.
I thought he lost a little bit on a 2 ball. I was wondering if he was going to get back into it, so looked good.
Got off to a good start.
Yeah, we'll watch it again here. Pretty good pullout. Does a 2-handed gate. All these guys doing 2-handed gate. Nice 1 ball. Line dropped a bit. Little wheelie out of 2 ball. Solid 3. Kind of lost it out of 4 there. He kind of hooked up, but then right back in it at 5. Not the best 4. He's shaking his head. He's like, oh, you know, as long as that wasn't a 2 ball. 4 ball is like, okay, I got a couple more. I'll go dig deep and get around at that headwind. Headwinds usually, you know, take some of your mistakes away, and you just got to get out to the ball. And when you're short and you don't have any rope length, that's the difficult part. But if you make a mistake, it's going to keep the line tight. If you make a mistake in a tailwind, man, it ends.
It's hard to
quick.
catch up.
It is. But when you run a tailwind nice, it's as easy as pie. So some guys think, you know, they run, it helps them to get out to the buoy, but, you know.
You got to keep the line tight. You can't come in too fast. If you do, you're going to have slack in that turn. And
here we go, 39. So top score right now, Joel Poland 2, Robert a half. So every buoy after 2 is money in the bank. And Dorian does not get a good start. And he's going to come up with a 1. So
that puts him in the number 2 spot, edging out Robert Hazelwood by half a buoy at 39. Didn't get the start like you said. Came up out of that turn.
you will see it happens here. Just wheeling. Got a little bit stiff. Didn't let the ski finish the turn. Started pushing on the ski before it came onto the line, and then the ski just wheelied on him. And
once the ski comes up on you, there's nothing you can do
loses
about
all
it.
the angles. So there you go. Joel Poland taking out the top score with a 2. Dorian coming in with a 1. And Robert rounding out the podium with a half at 39 off.
Alrighty, we got Mikey Caruso down there. Mikey, wave to us so we know you can hear us. There, waving to the crowd. Boy, what a heck of a barefoot family he's come from. He's got a number of kids in the family. Dad a doctor, and raised these young kids barefooted. I think he barefooted with his dad when he's just, I don't know, a real youngster. I'm thinking like at 2 years old he was on skis with his dad, and on his own at 3 years old. Youngest to barefoot backward at 6 years old. 4 junior worlds, won it in 2001, member of 4 elite world barefoot teams, 2-time national junior champion. Skied with the legend Banana George. What a great ambassador he was for the sport for so many years, and so generous and donating a lot to our foundation, Water Ski Hall of Fame Museum. He's on Sports Illustrated for kids. George Michalik, Sport Machine, cover of Sports Illustrated, Extreme Sports Calendar, loves to barefoot. Been at it a long time, and just a great member of the barefoot community.
So all the guys in the athletes tent there, all getting all their jump gear ready. Haven't had a lot of time over the ramp here. They've had, cutting around, but the conditions are settling down.
And it was nice, to be able to chat with the skiers, Jared, all these superstars, the best in the world, joining us here for the WWS American Open. And a big thank you to you and Britta and your family and all the folks that have sponsored this to showcase our overall skiers. I mean, these fellas are amazing, and to give them that platform to show us how great of skiers they are in all 3 events has been a real treat to watch. And like last night at dinner, it was so fun just hanging out with everybody and telling stories. And there's so much more to these folks than just being water skiers, and it's amazing to hear the scores and how the family have all grown up with parental support to be in this sport. Couldn't do it without mom and dad. And
yeah, great sport, and all thanks to our sponsors for helping us out. Ravenol and Camaro Wetsuits, White Cross, Acquire, Central Nautique, Mike Dillinger Insurance, Splash Eye, and Red Bull. Thanks you guys for helping us out and working through all these things for the sport and making our sport grow. Thanks for everybody for coming out and supporting the event. Hope everybody enjoying it and watching it at home. Working on that eye trick.
Yeah,
and,
that was
some
it's
software
really
trying to make the trick event a lot better.
Oh boy, is that ever fantastic! Not only that thing amazes me and so impressive with me is you're seeing their trick list. You're seeing all the tricks that they were doing and how that trick is, the value of that trick and how they all add up, which is neat. And you're getting it, spontaneously, which we've never had before. It's always, you've had to wait to get the trick score. So when you're calling the event, it's not like Slalom. You see at the end of a pass, well, he ran 4, he ran 5, he made the whole pass, or in jumping, they, jumped 225 feet, whatever. This, you had to wait for trick scores. You couldn't let them know what was going on. And now, boom, you've got it, right away, which really, I think, is a huge step forward in promoting the sport and the tricking event in itself.
But yeah, the trick event is an incredible event to watch, and we just have to educate the crowds, show them, and unless you show it in real time, and we tried to do that. We had a few hiccups here and there. Sometimes when you're running the boat too fast, you got learning curve, and the judges need to have some time to score it. Gives us some time to watch it and review it, and it was really, really good. So we were happy with how it was performing, and definitely it'll get better and better, and that's the way of the future for the sport. And maybe we'll take a break. We got Mikey Cruz going on the water to go do some barefooting, and they're switching out the buoys for the jump event. We just have to spend a little time setting up the jump course. It might take a few minutes, so I hope everybody enjoys. The next event is the main event, jumpers, and we're gonna see some guys go far.
And while all you folks are hanging out there on the shore that have been so gracious to come and join us live here at Okehili Park at Ski Club of the Palm Beaches, we got that ice cream truck parked back there, so go grab yourself some ice cream and get ready for the big event coming up next, the jump event, and it will decide who our 2021 WWS American Open water ski champion is, and looking forward to that.
Yep.
Hey guys, Dorian Llewellyn. I'm a 3-event water skier, I'm a Camaro athlete, and I'm also a huge fan of the new Camaro Core vest. This vest is amazing. I honestly didn't think that Camaro could make a vest that was lighter and also thinner than their last version, but this one not only does that, but also keeps the structural integrity the same while also lifting you up while you're in the water. Now, there are a lot of things that I like about this vest. I love the fact that they kept the overall design the same. They have this armor-looking plate in the front, and it overall looks great. Inside, there are some new things around the waistline. There's more structural integrity, and also at the back, a bit of extra support so that it will keep form for a lot longer. When you put it on, there really isn't anything that restricts you from getting it on, getting it off. When you have it on, there's also nothing that really restricts your arms either. You're able to move around, move freely, ski your best, while also looking good. So I love this vest.
Ravenol, the lifeblood of your car.
Hi guys, I'm Dorian Llewellyn. I'm here with Janina and Carlota Boneman. We're out here testing some new Camaro gear, but as always, we love our Camaro titanium suits.
This is a Camaro titanium suit. It's super flexible and stretchy. It feels like a second skin. You wear it and you feel like you have nothing on and you can move freely. Like even the longer one is a little bit thicker, keeps you a little bit warmer, but it's like, it feels like you're wearing nothing and you can move freely and just perform the best you can.
And since it's that flexible, it's really good to put on, zip it up, put it back off whenever you're done skiing.
Not only that, and not only will you look stylish going down the lake, but also there's no drag on the suit, water just runs straight off of it, keeps you warm. So in general, I think you're gonna have your best set ever with the Camaro Titanium Pro suit.
At Dillinger Insurance, we have over 50 different carriers to shop your home, auto, and recreational vehicle insurance needs. We would love the opportunity to save you money. We insure million-dollar mansions, condos, mobile homes, rental homes, and everything in between. We know all about wind inspections, 4-point inspections, and how to get you the right coverage for your particular home. You've got questions, we've got answers. Can you remember the last time you had a rate decrease with your auto insurance? Let's take a look and see what we can do. We know all the ins and outs of getting our customers the best rates, coverages, and discounts, so put us to the test.
Don't monkey around with your insurance. Call Dellinger Insurance today. We've got tons of companies to help find you the best prices and the best coverage for your particular needs on home and auto insurance. Go Knights!
Hey guys, Dorian Llewellyn. I'm a 3-event water skier, I'm a Camaro athlete, and I'm also a huge fan of the new Camaro Core vest. This vest is amazing. I honestly didn't think that Camaro could make a vest that was lighter and also thinner than their last version. But this one not only does that, but also keeps the structural integrity the same while also lifting you up while you're in the water. Now, there are a lot of things that I like about this vest. I love the fact that they kept the overall design the same. They have this armor looking plate in the front, and it overall looks great. Inside, there are some new things around the waistline. There's more structural integrity, and also at the back, a bit of extra support so that it will keep form for a lot longer. When you put it on, there really isn't anything that restricts you from getting it on, getting it off. When you have it on, there's also nothing that really restricts your arms either. You're able to move around, move freely, ski your best, while also looking good. So I love this vest.
Here we are back. Hi, everybody. Joining us, Hank Longo, along with Jarrett Llewellyn, an 8-time world champion, 11 world records, and most impressive 2 world overall titles. And you know what the overall competition is all about, and this is what the American Open is all about, is the overall score. And we're down to our final event.
Yep. Last event. This is when everything goes. So we got the leaderboard here. Joel Poling leading. He's got the highest slalom pass and trick pass, so he's going to take out the 1,000 points. Got 2,000 points there. Dorian's close behind, 980 in the slalom. He was only 1 buoy behind. Tricks, a couple hundred points, 981, and he's sitting at 1961, so really close. 40 points is not very much, so he needs to pull out a win in the jump event to take over Joel. But Robert, not too far behind. He's down a little bit, 1799, and Edoardo at 1634, and Martin not having a good day at 1494. So those guys, even still, what's on the line today, those guys are going to go out and try to get the biggest jump score. There's a bonus for each round, who has the highest in each event. And actually, right now, Joel is taking out the 2 bonus, the highest scores for today. So we'll see if someone else is going to take out the jump score.
Well, you can see him getting ready down at the dock, and Mike Dillinger tickled pink that his sign is being shown to everybody on the big screen.
He laughed about that yesterday. He goes, what the heck? How did I get that?
How was I so lucky?
Just a nice guy.
He's my insurance agent, too. I love the guy. He takes great care of me.
Agent, that's the guy to have, because, the guy just jumps in there and gets everything done. So
he's got quite a staff.
Any guy who can wear a barefoot,
a gorilla suit
and barefoot, that's your agent right there.
Yeah. That's the guy I want all my friends to see. Oh, who's your insurance agent? The gorilla barefoot out there. Yeah. Okay.
No, but just, it's super nice. Just like, I just calling him up, and he just jumped right in, and that you really appreciate. And all my buddies that have done that, I've said that I can't stress how important that is when, you just someone steps up and that's
After the
that's
plate.
true friends, right?
Yep,
so that's
that
what
is.
it's all about. So here we go. We're pulling out for the jump event. We saw Mikey on the water barefooting, entertaining the crowd, and had the car show. There's some beautiful cars out there.
Ice cream doesn't get any better than this, and a beautiful sunny day in beautiful South Florida here in West Palm Beach at Okehilly Park, home of Ski Club of the Palm Beaches, and can't thank them enough for all their support, Charlotte Melchers and company, and thanks so much. And hey, a big shout out to John Travers, JT, and all that he's done with the technical control.
Oh
to get
man, I don't
this.
know.
How would you have done it without him?
He
huh?
would have. Yeah, no. I just said, hey, I don't need much. Like this course, everything's good. And then he come down and said, oh, by the way, I got to put in a new course facing north. And he didn't even flinch. He's just like right in there, and he's throwing in buoys and. And he was pinning for all the guys too. So
and he's down here not skiing. I mean, he's one of the top, water ski masters champion, one of the best men's slalom skiers in the world, and he just came down to help out. He and his wife Natty and their little boy, and here we go on the water. Our first skier coming up.
Yeah,
Edoardo,
there's a big slalom event next weekend in Miami Ski Club, and all the top slalom skiers are going down there. We got Dane in the boat. Running a camera, and we got John putting in a course, and so it's pretty awesome. Everybody's chipping in and helping out the sport.
Well, this has been a great event. Delighted to be here for the WorldWaterSkiers American Open Water Ski Championship here at Okehilly Park in West Palm Beach. You can see the highway back there. That's the Florida Turnpike off in the background there. As you drive by, you can see this beautiful ski site coming down the turnpike to South Florida. Here we go. The jump event. It's pretty easy, Dorian. Each skier gets 3 jumps. The longest jump wins.
Yeah, and here he's out at the 180, the 600-foot ball. It's the setup buoy. He's going to feel things out here. Nice glide. Try to keep his speed up. Nice little angle from behind. We're going to see him come into the ramp. Little stretched out there at the base, just missed the kick. Not too bad.
Already, Edoardo Marenzi. Now, I believe he's going to be jumping at 5.5 today, or
he is. He's at a disadvantage at the 5.5. But again, here's his cut of the ramp. Just not getting a lift on it, feeling it out. It's all right, but he is at a disadvantage on a lower ramp. But it doesn't mean that you can't go far. You can go really far off a 5.5.
You can go 230 feet off a 5.5.
You can. It's been done. 230 feet has been done on a 5.5-foot ramp. So 230 feet out here would be
monster jump.
Monster. So,
but for those folks that are watching this that are not familiar with the technicalities of the jump event, when we say a 5.5-foot jump, it's 5.5 feet from the water to the top of the front of the jump, or the back of the jump, you should say. The highest part of the jump down to the water is 5.5 feet. After Edoardo jumps, then we're going to up that ramp 6 inches to make it 6 foot, and the fellas will compete at that height. And it's funny, when we were chatting with him, he was saying that he's probably going to stay on the 5.5-foot jump for a while, continue to work on his technique. And that's what you did with Dorian. You didn't let him, just go after that 6-foot jump right at the get-go. You made him stay on that 5.5-foot ramp until he really got all the technical things correct.
Yeah, a lot of mistakes happen at. You need speed. Speed is the name of the game here. So we're going to see the setup here. This is where you want to maintain some speed. Stay up on the boat, turn as wide as you can, get a really big dig, lots of pressure at the base, nice lift. Getting a hold of that one. Conditions looking pretty good today.
Yeah, beautiful second jump.
Well, not today.
Now, unfortunately, we're inside and can't really see the jump except on the monitor. And as you're saying right here, call this jump from here.
Yeah, hit a lot better. Brought it down just a little bit, a little more carry. I thought he didn't see that angle from before, but got pretty good lift. But skis flared a little bit off the top. It's still pretty strong up in the air.
Get some distances here on these jumps.
Yeah, they haven't come through yet. I don't know why.
So it's all about speed. Let's talk about speed because it's so critical, but it's where you get the speed. As you mentioned, you want to have some speed in your turn, staying, on top of the water so you can turn wide on the boat. But it's from that second wake into the ramp and through the ramp where the speed is most critical. Scott Ellis, one of the champions, senior world champ, and one of the best skiers in the world, placed in numerous world championships. He says right there, from the second wake into the bottom of the ramp and through it, the guy going the fastest is probably going to go the farthest.
Yeah, for sure. You want that, you want to try to wait as late as possible, maintain some speed, but you don't, you want to, there's that, if you wait too late, you're going to hit this corner of the ramp, and that's not good. So, but getting that dig into the bottom, getting lots of pressure, and slingshotting yourself down the lake. So we'll see if he brings it down a little bit. He's right on top of the 600-foot ball, getting up, trying to maintain some speed here, edging away, nice and controlled. Gets a good dig. I think even better. Nice jump, nice extension.
And good direction, and we'll talk about that a little bit too after we try to pick this in its direction. He's continuing to go left throughout this whole jump.
Yeah, you got to think of the rope like elastic band. You're going to stretch it, and the more the guy that stretches it it's gonna recoil and throw him out. The problem is if you stretch it too hard out of the turn and you come into the base of the ramp and you start to let up and it recoils on you at the base of the ramp, it's not good. You're gonna go out the front and crash. But the guy that can take it and build all the way through the ramp, stretch the rope, and then continue that off the top of the ramp and get that slingshot is the guy that's going to win today. So here we need a nice setup. Edoardo digging through the wakes. You see him coming right. Good replay there. Getting his legs. And this headwind, we love to jump in a headwind, like to press forward. You feel a lot safer in a headwind. You can really press out over the skis, and you're going to be a lot more aggressive in the turn and bring it down the lake. And tailwinds, you tend to back off because you just lose the line. It's a little more dangerous, and then
it looks like the water has settled down quite a bit, and it looks like they've got some gorgeous conditions out there now for this jump event. Now we're heading out to the jump. It's going to raise it up from 5.5 feet to 6 feet and continue with our 4 jumpers remaining. Martin Coleman, Joe Poland, Robert Hazelwood, and Dorian Llewellyn.
Yeah, like you said, we're just raising the ramp here from 5.5 feet to 6 foot. Over the years, the rules have changed a little bit. We do a ski fly version, which changed the sport a lot. We made the rope longer. We started out jumping the rules, and we decided, we're going to go out and, try some new stuff, revolutionize the sport. And
you did by jumping 299 feet.
Yeah, that was when you start going that far, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to look around and be flying through the air that far. But
be that high up in the air.
You jack the boat up and higher speeds, it gets more dangerous, and it's pretty sketchy. But after the ski fly, we ended up making the ramp longer and the rope longer, so that because we were passing the boat too fast, and some of those rules have come back and have helped the regular jump event. We've gone with a little bit longer ramp. Rope is still traditional, but some of the segments feet. And everything. It's made it better for the sport.
Well, we're waiting to get some distances here for. Alrighty.
So Edoardo's longest jump, we're just getting that in, is 195 is his top jump.
So he had a 175 and a 185 on jump number 1 and jump number 2.
Yep. Yeah. So he kept improving each jump, and just needed a 4th jump
to get over 200.
Yeah,
but he's knocking on the door.
He was on his way.
That's impressive jumping with 195 off a 5.5-foot ramp.
We're going to probably see his last jump here. Nice setup. This is the one he gets full lift. Yeah, that's his 95. That was the cleanest jump, and
you can see how we continue to edge all the way through into the bottom of the ramp, which the skier wants to do. You basically want to keep skiing right up the jump.
Yeah, you see them standing there. He's got Edoardo's got his sling there. There's a loop off the side, and we call that our sling, which is you put your right arm down through there, and when you're cutting into the base of the ramp, that is actually you're cutting so hard you physically can't hold it, and that sling actually holds, actually supposed to lift your hip and put pressure in that right hip. So it allows you to stretch the line even more and dig into the bottom. And if you really use the sling properly, if your arms roll up and you lose tension on that sling, your hip will drop and you lose that pressure. But if you without that sling, there's no way these guys would go that far.
And you know how the sling came about?
No, I don't.
Okay, here's a little history lesson. Back in the day, Alan Kempton dislocated his shoulder, and every time he was jumping, he would dislocate his shoulder, and he was like one of the top jumpers in the world, a U.S. team member, and the family had a auto salvage company, and so he got a seat belt and put a hoop on the seat belt so that his shoulder wouldn't get pulled out of place when he practiced, and that's what revolutionized the sport with the ski harness. Then everybody saw he was going farther, and you see pictures of Alan Kempton jumping with that harness on from back when he first started using it. He's looking the same as the jumpers do today, just the way he could lean over the front of the skis. He was on shorter skis than what the jumpers are on now, but that's what revolutionized the sport, was him dislocating his shoulder and making that harness so he could jump without getting his shoulder pulled out of place.
Yeah. Actually, is this Martin? Yeah, first jump, looks like he's going to pull out. We call this a 3/4 cut, which is just a nice warm-up jump, not a double cut. This allows him to not be way up on the boat, but it makes it way more consistent to cut into the bottom and just get a good cut and feel things out. Martin decided to let go there. You get 3 attempts no matter what if you let go. It's only the longest jump that counts, so Martin just feeling things out here.
Looked like he was a little early. If he would have kept on driving, he would have come kind of off the left side of the jump. So let's watch this again and just see as he comes through the wakes and into the bottom of the ramp if he's not a little bit early here.
Yeah, a little early, just probably taking a little bit cautious, pulled out, and with the wind being as strong as it was, it probably pushed him back, and he just did not get up on the boat, and everything was just early. He's probably trying to think, how do I get my head back in the game? He's so far back in the overall race. He had one hiccup, and then he had a second hiccup, and that's pretty hard to make up in the overall race.
It's looking nice out there. Conditions have definitely settled down, and as I was saying earlier, that was a fun thing about getting to talk with the skiers earlier, is trying to get a little time, because we found out yesterday that towards the end of the day the wind did settle down, and want to give them the opportunity to try to get the best jump set in that they can, and got to talk to them and let everybody learn a little bit more about the jumpers and their unique stories that they share.
Yeah, it's incredible, because in Austria when we had the event, different athletes, a couple European athletes showed up, but Robert was there. Got to really know Robert over the last couple of years. Pretty funny kid, and Dorian and them, they hit it off. And then this year, this event, everybody hanging out, Joel and Martin and Edoardo spending time last night playing pool and telling stories. It was pretty funny. It was a great time.
Here we go. Jump number 2, Martin Coleman from Czech coming in, former world overall champion, jump number 2.
There we go. Got an angle from the other side, and nice lift. And
yeah, it was a
well,
different
now we're
perspective.
Sunset. Still a 3/4 cut. I'm kind of surprised that Martin's been up north, traveling around. Probably hasn't been on the water too much after the World Championships. He trained really hard for it. Doing a nice 3/4 cut. You know, great 3/4 cut, getting lift, but just, you know, again, hard to generate a lot of speed from the 3/4 cut. It's more of he's feeling things out.
So 191, I believe, 58.1 meters. I think at this stage of the game, he doesn't want to be too risky with these jumps, and maybe just go out and have a couple.
Yeah, he's
good,
getting a
jumps.
Score on the board. It's pretty hard to come back from where he is now. You know, I don't know he's probably thinking, you know, Joel and Dorian have been jumping pretty good. They've been on the water. For him to take out the bonus today, you know, is probably pretty hard. It's the end of the season. He's probably, I'm just going to go out and have a good time tonight. And that was a decent jump.
You know, you got to wonder, you see the cars coming down the Florida Turnpike, and if they look over and see this guy flying through the air, it's like, what the heck was that?
Yeah. We had time change last night, so, you know, we were down here jumping the water. It was really, really windy. We canceled everything. We just had to do a trick exhibition, and for a little bit of the crowd that came out, and today we're back at it. We delayed. Conditions look pretty good, but it's starting to get a little bit dark. See Martin set up here. Oh, nice solid jump.
Yeah, that was beautiful and a great landing. Boy, you could see him really get some bounce off that ramp, and looked like he came in with some good pull from the boat to get him up on top of those skis, and in good body position through the air to land as solid as he did.
So for men's jumping, the boat's traveling 35 miles an hour, and the boat's timed. It has segments. It's got to meet those tolerances, so every skier gets the same conditions. We're seeing Martin on the setup here. Little sunset in the back. Big dig. I think that was his biggest jump. Sticks the landing. Nice little headwind.
Meters?
199.
All righty, 199, jump number 3, 60.7 meters. So nice comeback performance from Martin. That's a darn good, respectable jump.
Yeah, it was a bit of a tough go with the going down early in tricks. That was hard, but Coleman taking the lead there, 60.7. And the jumper's cutting across the bottom. When you're really cutting into it, the boat is going 35 miles an hour, but the skiers are hitting anywhere from, 60 to 65 miles an hour. I've the fastest I've ever seen in regular jumping, I saw Carl Roberge come up at 72 miles an hour.
Wow.
And I was clocked at 76 or 78 miles an hour in ski fly, but the boat is traveling 10 miles an hour faster. So 70 miles an hour in regular jump and the G's is pretty significant.
Well, that's why you're the world jump champ and world jump record holder.
That's why when I get up in the morning, I feel 90. Yeah, my back is definitely
taking a toll over those big jumps.
Yeah, so these guys you got to be in great shape hard to be a 3-event skier and not be in incredible shape. These guys train hours and hours, and then on the water, and then go to the gym, and you got to keep your body supple. So it's a full-time job.
Here we go. Jump number 1 from Great Britain. He's leading in slalom and tricks. Joel Poland coming in. Jump number 1, our current world overall champion.
Yeah, Joel doing a double cut, setting up, kind of going for it, but from that angle, we didn't really see his approach into the ramp, but just missing the lift on that one. Sat back, probably didn't feel it.
Here we go.
Good setup here, nice edge out. He's not panicking. Looks pretty good here. He kind of, through the wakes, he kind of dipped in his ski, kind of chattered there, he probably said, you know, that doesn't feel so good, and he just kind of crushed it out, kind of a safety check, and just decided not to kick it. That probably would have been not very good as a warm-up jump. And that really doesn't matter for him. You know, he was just feeling out where he should be, where he's going to bring it down on the 600.
Yeah, it wasn't much of a jump there in his standards. 151, 45.9 meters. So
yeah, that's a throwaway jump. That's right. You know, it was mostly in his head. Like when we're standing on the dock, you're like, okay, I'm gonna assess the conditions, and being a later seed skier, it gives you that opportunity to see, if guys make big adjustments, okay, they've made that adjustment, they misjudged it, and maybe you don't make the same mistake. But if you're pretty close on your guess on your first jump and you get a hold of one, that really sets the bar for you to go big. So here we are, second jump for Joel Poland.
This is a replay.
Oh, that's the replay. Sorry, here we go. Joel setting up just off the 600 football. Wind is settling down. It's a nice, perfect little breeze. Getting a little bit darker, but see if he gets a good dig off the top here. Not what he was expecting. So that's interesting. Didn't get a hold of it. Kind of coming down to the last jump and needing a big jump.
Alrighty, 172, 52.5 meters. So this is very interesting. It was, back in the day, way back in the day, when you were just in the boys division, I came down here with Brent Larson and got to ski with your coach at the time, Tanguy Benet, and Jim Clooney, one of the Canadian team members. Actually finished third in the World Championships when he was coaching him for that. He made him go out with just one jump. He said, you got to jump 200 feet with just one jump. And that's the same situation that Joel has here. You got to forget the first two jumps. This is a one-jump tournament for you right now. You've got to be able to dial it all in and put it together on this
He is
third
world
and final
champ. Even
jump.
though he's young, he may not have the experience, but this guy is not going to back off, and he has the talent to pull this off. That's the one thing about jump event. You can kind of mess up a couple.
But he got that last shot.
You got another shot, so he's still in this. He keeps stumbling through the wakes a little bit, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there. It's not characteristic of him. We'll see the setup here. Oh, he gets a hold of that one. That's much better.
That looks like
better.
a big jump. In fact, it was hard to keep a track of him with the camera. I think they caught him off guard a little bit with that one. We'll take a look at this coming at you from this direction, and we can see just how big a jump this is.
So just waiting on the distance there. 62.7. I think I heard a 62.7. Yeah, 206, 62.7. So not too bad of a jump, over 200 feet. Conditions not ideal. These guys did not get a preliminary round, so really this is the first round, and
getting to feel out this course.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to feel out the course when it's the finals. So Joel put himself the first two jumps. He just kind of missed it, and he put himself in a position. I can't screw up again, and he did get a hold of it, but just. That's really interesting because that's going to open the door to these other guys to gain some ground on Joel. Joel is out in front, but he's left the door open for these guys to move forward. So just following the jump event, we're going to go straight into the awards ceremony, do a little awards ceremony for these guys, and stick around and
cheer them on.
Cheer them on and meet them, and we'll look forward to that.
Well, Edoardo with 195, Martin Coleman 199, taking the lead, Joe Poland 206. 62.7 meters, and Robert Hazelwood, our skier, out on the water coming in for jump number 1.
Joel's had some big jumps this year. He's up into the 210. You know, we'll see once he starts out here. Nice, solid, easy jump. He didn't take a big poke at it.
Looked a little early.
Yeah, looked a little early, but he's feeling things out. It's really the first double cut he's had over the ramp, and getting your legs on your first jump, even though you don't have the speed, it feels good.
Nice smooth turn, and here we come. Has some good edge coming in, but not really digging that hard.
Yeah, no, just warm up and feeling it out. Again, that feels good when you get your hold of your legs. He's gonna, he's felt the conditions out. He's got to go for it now.
We talk about, digging in before the jump. Explain that in layman terms to the folks that don't understand that.
Yeah, so, just trying to get up on the boat, keep your speed, come across, get a nice turn, controlled. The wind's going to help that, keep the line tight. But the dig that we talk about is going through the wakes really good, and on the second side, really loading up the hip, loading up that right ski, and getting a huge dig into the bottom, which allows you to stretch that line. And if you can get lots of pressure at the base, it's going to slingshot you down the lake. So
you really get applying a lot of pressure to the edge of the ski.
That is, yeah. And you want to keep that pressure right off the top of the ramp. It's actually safer if you start to lose that pressure, or if you square up to the ramp and try to, naturally kick it or rotate your hips. It's not good. You can that's when ugly things happen.
Keep your direction all the way through the ramp.
Yeah. So Joel, this is Robert. A little early on the 6th. The wind's backing off, so I'm kind of surprised. He should bring it down a bit, but that's definitely a later cut. Getting a hold of it, a lot better. So off the top, he definitely a harder cut, brought it down. Better setup, but I just noticed his left ski kind of wobbling off the top of the ramp, just a little bit limp. Just want to make sure his hips are square to the ramp at the base. Getting a dig here. That was more wind. Yeah, the wind just kind of got hold of his left ski, and they were kind of fluttering a little bit. So, it is a little bit breezy. It's a headwind, but when you get 20, 30 feet up,
it changes.
It's windy up there, and you don't realize, you just notice that, it doesn't look that bad on the water, but when he got up in the air and his skis start fluttering around like that, it's still sketchy out there.
Still a little breezy. Well, 191, 58.1 on jump number 2. That's his longest jump.
Yeah, 191. Not too bad of a jump, but that's still not in Robert's realm of what he's capable of out here. I'd like to see him go over 200. 205, 206 is definitely be the mark that he's probably going for today.
Well, 206 leading the event right now. Joe Poland got that on jump number 3, a 199.
Yeah, everybody's going for the bonus check. That extra grand on the line for the longest jump here today. Each event has a bonus.
Here we go. Jump number 3, Robert Hazelwood.
Up on the boat, nice edge in the bottom, good through the wakes, sitting back a little bit, not getting a hold of it. He's disappointed, just sitting back.
And what causes that? To maybe turned a little too quick at the beginning, or in his turn, making
sometimes
Scott on his tail?
Good dig and just coming off the wakes and just coming off, and he's the rope's so tight he never really got back to his toes and drove into the bottom. You get a good dig here. Sat back and just sit back and didn't attack the ramp at the base and push his hands down. And when he hit the ramp, he kind of skied up the ramp instead of through the ramp. And by sitting back, he just lost that, that push forward off the top. So definitely lost, 10 or 20 feet there straight away.
Alrighty, yes he did. 186, 56.7 meters. So that jump number 2 of 191. 58.1 meters. is going to be his long jump. So that's got him in the number 4 spot right now.
Yeah, here it's just breaking away, trying to keep the line tight. That's our, the S turn. Nice dig here, loading up the right hip, sorry, and digging into the bottom. See how he is, just stands up and just sits back and just does not able to press forward off the top like he needs to.
Okay, well, this is coming down to our number 1 seed, our last skier on the water, Dorian Llewellyn, 2021 World Trick Champion, runner-up in the World Overall Competition. Joel Poland, who was just out a couple skiers earlier, winning the 2021 World Overall title at the World Championships. So these two guys have been slugging it out, kind of like Ali Frazier,
It's definitely, every time they go out, they've as youngsters, really consistent, banging out incredible scores, but Joel has left the door open a little bit. Maybe, ramp might be a bit soft, conditions and not an opportunity to go off the ramp enough. The distances aren't what they typically, are. So sometimes that's the way it is, but it's the same for everybody. Everybody has the same conditions, and you got to do it on the day. It doesn't matter. And I think Joel's left the door open a little bit. He's won the slalom event. He's won the trick event. Dorian's going to come back. He wants to win the jump event here. And if he can bang one out, he might be able to come back and win the overall title.
Dorian Llewellyn, jump number 1. Oh, well, we lost the cameraman on that one. That was a beautiful opening jump.
He jumped right out of the camera on us. But Dorian's pretty consistent coming off. He's really efficient through the wakes. You watch him go through here, just nice and smooth as butter, and just rocks up over the skis. Was a nice warm-up, the best one we've seen so far. And interesting to see what the distance comes up. 61.7, so that puts him just in second place.
202.
202.
Well, that's our longest opening jump so far, so really getting to feel it there. I know if you were on the sidelines coaching him right now, would you tell him to bring it down a little further?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Just get a little little more crazy?
Yeah, everyone's like, just bring it down, bring it down. But, you can do it so many different ways. You can pull longer, or you can leave the counter cut the same and bring it down. So there's different ways. When you just say bring it down, just doesn't mean
because
that.
If you bring it down, then what happens a lot of times is when skiers bring it down, then it looks like they're late and they turn harder, and it actually makes them early. Whereas if you're going to bring it down, you have to be patient in the turn and do it the same way.
Well, if you bring it down, you got to keep the counter cut the same. A lot of times people bring it down and then they change their counter cut, and you cannot do that. Dorian has to bring it down and pull long. He needs to pull long on this side, keep his speed up, get a good whip. You want to start to turn before the boat picks you up. Get a good dig here. Lots of pressure. I don't know if it looks like he just missed it on the ramp a little bit, but definitely pushing.
Hand came off the handle pretty early there, too.
Yeah, I think, that's kind of a safety check. When he comes off the handle, that means something wasn't just quite right. I think his setups are pretty good here. He's got good, decent speed. Cuts through the wake here. Yeah, not too bad. He kind of pre-kicking the ramp a little bit and not staying down through it.
204, 62.1. So this is going to decide the champion right here.
Yeah.
This jump is going to decide who our 2021 American Open jump champion and overall champion is going to be. It's either going to be Joel Poland or Dorian. And what the situation is if Dorian has a longer jump, he could get the bonus check for the best performance in the jump event. But if he jumps far enough, he might be able to take over that lead from Joe Poland for the overall title.
Yeah, had a good opener. Gained another couple feet. Needs a couple more feet, but really he needs to jump 210 probably to get back into the overall race. And
Alrighty, here we go. Jump number 3. This is it. It's going to be Dorian or Joel on the top of that podium.
Yeah, Dorian right on top of the 600, brought it down even more. Keeps the speed up, and needs to keep the turn nice and big when you bring it down. Dig.
Oh, left skis looks like it slipped out on him a little bit.
Yeah, that looked kind of sketchy off the top there. The wind definitely blowing around there. That's definitely not going to do it for him. But right on the 600, needed to keep the speed up. When you bring it down like that, you need to make sure that your turn doesn't turn into be too short and you dig too much out of the turn. So Dorian digging right into the bottom, but just the left ski again. We saw that earlier on Robert, I think, and ski fluttering around there and the wind catching him.
Well, 62.2 on that jump, 204 again. So Joel Poland winning all 3 events in this American Open competition, our water ski tournament for overall skiers, and just was not able to get the big jump he was looking for today, and I'm sure a little frustrated with that.
Yeah, that's a good close competition. Everyone really going at it. Joel consistent. Dorian was pretty consistent, but Joel taking out all 3 wins today. That's pretty incredible. It's going to be big payday for Joel, taking all the bonus checks and the title. So that's a big day for Joel, and a lot of great skiing. I want to thank everybody for coming out. Here's the leaderboard. Joel coming out with all 3 top scores and going to end up with the 3,000 points. And Dorian will be second, Robert Hazelwood third, and Edoardo fourth, and Martin the 5th score. So that's what our podium will reflect, and it was really incredible. Great skiing today. Again, want to thank everybody for coming out. Make sure you visit WorldWaterSkiers.com. You know, write messages to us. We lots of things to work on, and we appreciate it.
Yeah, and we want to, before we go, we got to thank all the folks that were behind us for this event. Ravenel Oil, Camaro Wetsuits, White Cross, Acquire, Clothing, Sport Clothing, White Clothes, Medical Clothing, Center Nautique, Mike Dillinger Insurance Agency, a big shout out to Mike, Splash Eye Now, iTrick, Red Bull. Can't thank Britta Llewellyn enough and the support we got from Red Bull from this tournament. And want to remind everybody the 100-year anniversary coming up this year in 2022. July 2nd, the day Ralph Samuelson got up on a pair of skis and started this amazing sport. And the 2022 World Show Ski Championship is going to be in Winter Haven on Lake Silver. Looking forward for that October, not till October, but 19th through the 23rd. And the Water Ski Hall of Fame Museum in Davenport, Florida. Come see us. The USA and IWWF, Water Ski and Wake Sports Hall of Fame Museum. So want to thank them for their support and the sound system that they've helped us out with over the weekend.
Yeah, I want to thank the club, the OK Ski Club
of the Palm
and
Beaches.
Yeah, the county, everything. We want to do it bigger and better next year. Much bigger event, 5-year plan, and get all these things out of the way. And thank you, Hank, for coming down and
You're
helping
welcome.
out.
A treat to be with you. This is a
like
dream come true for me, pal.
Straight down.
Hanging out with the world champion. My headset's falling off. I don't care. This guy's amazing. Dream come true, and I'm going to put my stuff back on so I can get my act back together. But great dinner last night. You, for your family, invited us over to your amazing home, and everybody got to hang out, and the camaraderie, it was just extremely special. And I think on behalf of myself and all the skiers and all the people involved, can't thank you and Britta and your family enough for your mom helping out, and
everybody, my neighbors and the club guys, everybody's jumped in, and even the sponsors, people behind the scenes. We could not do this without you, and I totally appreciate it more than you know. And if you want to be involved, you know, we're here.
Get a hold of us.
We're trying to figure it out, and we need help. We're going to probably do things wrong for sure, but
you learn from it.
You can't keep doing it. We got to keep it making it better. So that's what we're all about.
Well, thank you, and thanks everybody for watching. We appreciate it.
Yep. Stay tuned, and stay tuned to the website, and log in and subscribe so that you know what's going on, and drop us a note.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye from the American Open here at beautiful Okeechobee Park, and thank you to Ski Club of the Palm Beaches, and a delight to be here. And I'll take care, and we'll see you again next time. Thank you so much. God bless.